Going live.
And we're live, yay. Yay!
Hello, welcome to live.
Hello, we are welcome to live.
So, yeah, so what's up? Hi, we're back.
Yep, it's time for another week of What's Up. I'm Lucky, he's Omega. This is the show where we're just gonna spend like several hours just talking about literally whatever.
Yep. Gonna be a lot of stuff today.
A lot of stuff.
All right, well, let's begin with, as we usually do, what's on screen right now.
What's on screen right now is Bandai Namco's Tale of Arise. Game just came out yesterday. I am playing the PS5 version on, guess what? My PS5.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. So it's the latest entry in the Tales series. It's ye old classic JRPG. Has a interesting action-oriented battle system. There's been a couple of hiccups in the game so far. There have been actual reports of this. The installation doesn't always go the greatest. There are a couple problems that have popped up, and both of them have happened to me. I've actually had to restart my PS5 twice, and I actually had to, at one point, delete and reinstall the game. Yeah, no. But I guess you see, it's functional now, and thankfully, deleting a game does not necessarily delete your save files, so...
No, that is a beautiful thing about, I think, a lot of modern games, and is your save files and your game files are separate, so
Yes.
you can delete, like, all your fucking game data, and still keep all your save files, because they're way tinier without even, like, PS Plus cloud shit as well. Which, obviously, we both have, because can't multiplayer without PlayStation Plus, most games.
Nope.
And that's kind of a cool feature for a lot of games, but yeah. So, Lucky is playing Arise. It just came out. That's cool for people.
Yep. Unfortunately, I will just be trucking along in the story and whatnot. I will not necessarily be slowing down for stuff. If I have an opportunity to like slow down for grind, I will. But this is a kind of a spoiler warning. Cinematics will happen. So if you are planning on getting this game and do not want that, I will have to advise you to stop. But if you're okay with spoilers, hang out. It's going to be a great show. We got a lot to talk about. This guy has a gun.
Yes, quite a lot of things. So, obviously, as you guys can tell from the thumbnail, I think the bulk of this will be on the PlayStation 5 showcase, which just happened this week.
Yes.
It's kind of a big deal.
Very much so.
But also, there are a lot of other things going on to talk about. There's been several other bits of news and other kind of media releases. It seems like this week, like, you know, this like second couple weeks in September are a really good time period for people to announce lots of things that are happening in like the last couple quarters of the year or early next year. There've been a few like movie trailers and other TV stuff coming out, various other things. And there's also probably some stuff we may or may not remember from last week because we did not What's Up last week.
We did not.
We talked a little bit about this on our Bloodstained stream on Monday. That one went for like 3.5 hours. If you want to know more, go watch it. Because I'm not afraid to cross-promote. Before we hamper down, Lucky has a list of notes, so I'm actually probably less prepared than I usually am. I'm just like, oh, Lucky wrote a lot of notes. I'm sure he'll mention anything I want to on the showcase and stuff. Before we go anywhere, I'd like to remind everybody this episode is brought to you by our patrons like Harp, Uncle Comics, Kazumi, Critic 10, Plus Goji, Carlos, Kwa, Dragon Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Raptor Rogue, Robin Trevor, P, some guy named Bob, and Cyber23. If you like us and want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. You can get access to episodes early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for your support, because there's a lot of fucking video games to buy.
Yeah, 2022 and 2023 is gonna be fun. But
well, yeah, so early 2022, like, every fucking thing is releasing in spring, right?
Right.
Like, that's going to be a clusterfuck. Some stuff's going to get moved. But also, this is another thing I want to touch on, because there were a couple of these were actually touched on in the trailers. The rest of September and October is also a pretty key time for some very close releases.
Oh, yeah, no, we got several things coming out.
We can go ahead and mention that Deathloop was in the presser again.
Again.
I understand why. It literally releases next week.
Yeah, the 14th.
So it kind of makes sense to remind you it's about to come out. It's still a little tiring. I think we both made this joke when it was on because we were not quite live tweeting, but we were both in our games chat and Discord,
Mm-hmm.
being excited and also shit posting. So that's cool. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up right away. I might want to actually let it actually come out and see what people say first, because it has always looked really sick. It's Arcane, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Arcane, the subdivision of Bethesda, who do some really great games. I especially was a big fan of Prey.
Oh, yes. No, Prey is still up there on my list.
Deathloop's mechanics are very much in Arcane's wheelhouse, so that's pretty cool. But there's also, how tedious is this looping business, So kind of like with Returnal, I think. By the way, I still haven't heard if Returnal has a quick save or anything. I don't know if that we've missed the boat on that. It's still full price on Amazon, so I guess it's doing okay. Well, I may or may not be looking at my PS5 Amazon wishlist right now. Returnal's still $70, but Watch Dogs Legion is $20. That'll probably be a quiet pickup sometime. But yeah, so I probably want to see reviews before I get into Deathloop. There's a lot of other shit coming out, but Far Cry 6 will be early October. Slight spoilers for the PlayStation Showcase. I don't remember what day it was, but Alan Wake Remaster will be in early October, I believe.
Yes.
And Guardians of the Galaxy, which I am very hype about, will be late October.
The 26th.
Yeah, 26th. Looking sick.
Oh, yeah. Alan Wake is October 5th.
Yeah, so that's the earliest.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little in our chat as well. That may or may not end up being a little bit of a spooky co-op stream game that will hang out, because I've seen people play Alan Wake, but I've never played it myself. I don't know who would have control what, but we can work on that. 5th. I wonder actually it was in the showcase. Do you think Sony would make it a PS Plus game? I wonder what the timing is like on that. We'll see. They sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're not. They're just rando shit.
Yeah, again, to divert a little bit, I'm not super much a fan of this this month's games, because what was it? Overcooked. Then it was
Overkicked, which is a fun game, but it's a party game only. So
yeah.
It was Hitman 2,
yes.
Which is all right. That's probably the best of them. And then what the fuck was the third one?
It was something like Predator something.
Oh, is it the Predator Grounds? I mean, that game just came out. That's cool. They clearly have been throwing a lot of money at people because every fucking buddy is playing it. But Predator and then the Alien Fireteam just came out, but it's not a huge deal. And those games have Predator and Alien games have a lot of mixed reputation. But yeah, so we'll hope that October is better. Or they do have some titles coming out early October. They might actually be able to pull from.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking like some stuff's pretty stackled. Which is bad for us.
Yeah.
Because you're playing Arise right now. I am still somewhere in the middle of the first dungeon in Zelda. And I completely forgot that No More Heroes 3 actually came out. So I need to also pick that up because I'm a big fan of that series. And then 2022 is just going to fucking destroy us.
Destroy us.
So you've got a lot of notes. I'm curious, how these all are organized. Where do you want to start with this?
Well, we can start from the top. I basically wrote them down as I saw them. There might be one out of place because I actually blinked on the name, but I'll let you know when we get there.
Okay.
So,
well, I've got basically it's not being streamed right now, but I basically have the showcase stream archive open on loop on my machine.
Okay, cool.
So I can scrub back and forth and follow along as we go.
All right. So first, right off the bat, we had I guess the best way to call it is just an opening cinematic. It was a little wild.
Yeah, Sony likes to do these big, this is a future TV commercial, obviously, right?
Yeah.
They'll probably cut this up a couple of times, and you'll see it at, Super Bowls and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I love this aesthetic, though. I don't know what the fuck to call this. Chess punk?
Game punk.
Yeah, basically, yeah. They've got so many homages. There's actually spoilers in here. I didn't catch it at the time, but in the first couple bits, they show an image of actually Nathan Drake and Chloe standing together, which hooks up to another thing.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of other little things. There's cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool little cinematic thing.
Oh yeah, but we started off there. It went for several minutes, and Basically, some guy came on and was like, hey, we're PlayStation. We have cool games. We're going to show them to you. And he's like, let's see some fucking games. He didn't say it exactly like that, but it was pretty fucking close. Because for the next 40 minutes, there was literally nothing but fucking game trailers. I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted.
Also, you know, Lucky's like some guy. It's Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony Electronic Entertainment.
It's some guy.
But yeah, no, it's still. So guys, remember back at E3, right? We talked a little bit of shit. There were some guys with some press conferences and some panels and shit who clearly didn't know what they were doing. They were like, some of them were really slow. They were full of lots of people talking about shit that wasn't related. There weren't, you know, super loads of trailers and announcements. No. PlayStation Showcase was just like zinger after zinger. It's just like, hello, we are PlayStation. Here are trailers. Some of them are new. Bye. Mic drop. Slam dunk. I'm out.
Yep.
And then, like, what is, like, the head of, like, PlayStation Studios comes out after, like, 30 or 40 minutes and says, that was really great. We have more to show you. And then shows you, like, 10 more minutes of trailers.
Yeah. Just like if they want to remind you, it's like, we are people here. There are people here. It's nothing but trailers. It's not just trailers. I got knocked down. But, so we went and made really into trailers, and first, it was a teaser. You know, you hear someone talking about Star Wars.
Also, specifically, it's Jennifer Hale, who was Bastille Sean's VA.
Yeah, no, I can never fucking remember. So, it's Jennifer Hale talking about, you know, a lightsaber comes on, it gets close, it's the fucking Reverend Christ mask. And, yeah, they say Knights of the Old Republic remake. There has been, I believe that news has been percolating around for a while.
There have been rumors that that somebody was going to remaster, remake, or finally make KOTOR 3. This is, I think, our first word on know for sure. Knights of the Old Republic. It's being remade. It's being remade by a combination of Lucasfilm Games, which like just reopened a couple years ago, because Disney got tired of EA wasting their license. And I don't know who Aspyr are, but they're the other studio involved. And it's also a collab with PlayStation. It seems like it's going to be at least a timed exclusive, and probably only on PC.
Yep. By the way, Shiro's gamed in. I'm not so big on Pokemon that I want to stream in. I don't think Omega is necessarily either. It's not
on what's up. I don't know. Like I talked about. I also still haven't bought the new Pokemon Snap. I'm busy, guys. I only have so much Switch time. Okay. And I'm locked into a Zelda game right now. I want to pick that up, and I could stream it. But right now, we're kind of enjoying our co-op stream cycle. We're having a lot of fun there. So we'll see about it in the future. I'm certainly open to it. I don't know if, like, even if for, like, the, you know, Diamond and Pearl remakes, if I would, like, stream a mainline Pokemon game of just me playing. That sounds like I'm just asking for people in chat to fucking yell and belittle at me for my subpar Pokemon decisions. Or people that yell at me that I'm a filthy casual because I'm not doing a Nuzlocke run, because, yes, I am a filthy casual. Nuzlocke runs are dumb. It's called denying the premise. Anyway, there was Teaser Boy for KOTOR.
Yep. And then we went into one that has me, as I want to say, shooketh. So
yeah, this I think was. So there were several breakout trailers and announcements in this.
Yes.
This next one I think is the first one of those that was like a real big deal that stayed trending for days. Like I still see, spoilers, it's Parasite Eve. I still see that trending on Twitter occasionally. Like it's like, learn more about the PlayStation Showcase, trending with Parasite Eve.
Project Eve. Parasite Eve is it's a Capcom.
Is it Project Parasite Eve?
No, it's Project Eve. Parasite Eve is a fucking
I feel like there was Parasite in the name somewhere. I'll see you in the end there.
Nah. Well, it might be, but so yeah, the name is Project Eve. It's being done by Shift Up. This is one of the things that shook me, because if you guys don't know, Shift Up, it's a Korean-based web developer. You can probably guess this because they were all speaking Korean in the trailer.
Yes. Also, the art style is very modern Korean video games. Like, have you ever seen, like, what is it, Black Rock Desert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Shift Up specifically, they only have 2 other games under their belt, and they're both social games, gacha games. One of them being Destiny Child, the fucking horny on main game that I play a lot. So, apparently this game was actually teased back in, like, 2019, and they've had a they've had like a little bit of a presence about it, but it came out of nowhere. And from what it's looking pretty hype, I want to say.
Yeah, I want to say one of the reasons why this is so hype is because not only is this a cinematic trailer, this is also a gameplay. Like, this is a big, like, how long does this go on for? Let's see, we're at about, like, 6 minutes. Go till about, like, 8 or 9 minutes. Yeah, this is, like, 4 minutes of trailer here, 4 or 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a pretty deep dive look at the game. Now, let's be real. Lucky and I both saw this, and I was literally like, is this Korean Nier? Yes, it is.
Yes.
Is that bad? No. And you know why it's not bad? Because Yoko Taro said it's not bad.
Yeah.
What did his tweet say? I think it was just bye.
Bye. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. No. I think Project Eve wears its inspirations on its fucking sleeves as a giant inflatable waving arm tube man, but it's still cool.
I mean, who doesn't want to have, like, hot and sexy girls running around kicking a bunch of ass, spinning swords around their waist?
I mean, yeah, no. Like, this is big Platinum game vibes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of emphasis on, like, Bayonetta, but Nier Automata especially, because you got a hot chick and you got a robot buddy. This robot buddy talks, though, like an actual character.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of shots of just her shiny ass just in there, so...
Yes.
So
tight
they're not...
body suits. There's at least one. This is the big trailer reveal at the end. There's at least one evil version of Eve.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck do they call the enemies? Alpha Native, I think. They're like biomechanical, so that's kind of a different aesthetic, you know. Automata's enemies are mostly robotos, and Bayonetta's enemies are gross angels. So gross.
So gross.
There's also very clearly, I mean, once again, with the slight Bayonetta homages, there's very clearly some religious references here. She's called Eve. Praise to our mother who art in heaven kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these monsters have, like, giant saw blade halos.
No, so, like...
I'm watching the trailer flow right now.
So, no, definitely. It's, like, honestly, I'm pretty sure they're trying to... It's basically... We're going to smash Bayonetta and Nier together and see what happens. So now we have mechanical angels and...
Yeah.
I mean, because Eve's hair is long as fuck. It goes everywhere.
Yep. And they just showed the bit in there. We know there'll be QuickTime events. They actually showed that. There's a cool skatey section. They played some cool, you know, kind of slightly soulful K-pop type music.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you know, shooting. There's the classic move. There's the witch time type effect, you know, that every one of these action game has, which, you know, that's good if you can do that, if you can do a perfect dodge.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be, you know, cool and sexy and mind-blowing and probably a little gross.
Probably. Okay, I'm excited.
You know, all the shit you want from these beat-em-ups. Yeah, no, this was like... I was big sold on this, you know? This is... at first I was like... Is this just a little bit of a, you know, are we cloney doing here? And I'm like, oh, we are, but like in a good way. Like very clearly, these developers must love those kinds of games and are trying their best to make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Unreal. It's on PS5. I don't know if it's exclusive. That is the one thing I don't like about how everybody's doing their own pressers now. Is like I talked about this with the Xbox presentation as well. It's very hard to tell what's really exclusive and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, there was no date, I think, on Project Eve, but...
No. But, I'm excited. I've started following their Twitter. They're, like, posting things slowly. So we'll get news as it trickles out.
Yeah.
But...
That's going to be a big one. That'll probably be, depending on, you know, the time and date when it comes out, that'll probably be, like, a What's Up stream at least.
At least.
Just because action games are pretty easy to stream.
Oh, yeah. You said there was a fucking button. Oh, wait, it's over here. There we go. But, yeah, now, next came something that was pretty fucking great. I want to say it was pretty fucking great. It was the trailer for Tiny Tina's Wonderland. It's going to be basically a full-on standalone game. It's not going to be, it's not going to be Borderlands 3 DLC. It's going to be more like Borderlands the pre-sequel.
Yeah,
they say
which I think because I believe it got leaked just before E3, and then they did an announcement trailer.
Mm-hmm.
which was a little more cinematic and a little rougher than this one. This is the PlayStation Showcase trailer is very much in the vein of the usual Borderlands trailers you see. They have real music. Gimme Chocolate by Bamabel. Excellent choice, by the way.
It was such a great choice. It's like, I heard it and I was like, wait a minute. What did I say? What did I say? I think it was like, oh yeah, I remember. It was all like, I have to say that I don't believe that I would ever expect Baby Metal to be in a video game trailer, but it is absolutely the best choice. And it was like, yeah, Gimme Chocolate. Which I find hilarious, because I saw it in our YouTube history, so I was like, yeah, I know what Omega did.
Well, because I didn't know what it was off the top of my head, so I looked it up, and people were like, hey, the song is this, and I'm like, all right, I'm there.
Yeah.
I did that for a couple of trailer songs.
But
yeah, so this is very clearly inspired by that one Borderlands 2 DLC, obviously.
Assault on Dragon's Keep.
Yeah. You know, they're keeping with the theme, but it is also still because it is still using that kind of like role-playing excuse, it is a wholly standalone universe now that you're actually interacting with. Though, obviously, Tina will still be a major character. There are some additional things that they have talked about that I learned through some like press release stuff. Apparently, it will be full-blown character creator now.
Oh, interesting.
There will be no preset characters. You can pick your own race, gender, voice pack, everything. Like, obviously, the engine is still like core, like Borderlands style. Obviously, right? It's so much the fact that it has guns, and that's even in the trailer. Like, you may be asking, why are there guns in a fantasy world? Shut up! Shoot. That's Borderlands, correct. There's also shown that there is probably a pretty in-depth magic system. You see characters using a couple of different spells. So if it's fully character customizable, that's going to be pretty interesting. And yeah, I'm excited for that one. I like Borderlands. I didn't ever get around to beating all of Borderlands 3 just because I felt like some of the game design decisions got a little tedious. It focused a lot on like the dungeon area type thing, if you know what I mean, for Borderlands. Like just, you know, big corridors full of dudes to shoot. Like, I really felt like because they were jumping to so many different environments, they got a lot less of the open world type stuff, which just kind of annoyed me. But I might go back and finish it off sometime.
At some point. But, so, I don't know if necessarily I'm into it, but I might. I believe it's projected as a early 2020 window, so anywhere up in that joint.
I just, like, searched it on Amazon, and I do not see any, like, listings or anything yet, so.
Yeah. So we still got a bit of time.
Still a little bit of wiggle room.
So, following that, we have a Square Enix game, Forspoken.
This had a different working title like last year, didn't it?
No, yeah, that was a project, it was originally Project Athia.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they called it anything else, but yeah, it's Forspoken, Square Enix. It's a game they've been showing off a little bit here and there for a couple years now, I think I want to say.
Yes, it's been, obviously, because it's been through, like, project titles and stuff. It's been in dev for a while. It's, Project Luminary is the secondary studio. It's all in, like, next-gen Unreal shit. And they've showed a lot of these sweeping, like, they started the trailers, like, with these sweeping environment shots. Like, look at these environments. They're so pretty, and you're so mobile. This is an actual, like, content trailer. Like,
oh, yeah, we got some...
Get some story, get some characters, get some understanding. And,
understanding is it's an isekai. It's an isekai.
Yeah. It's like I was like, as I watched the opening to the trailer's cinematic, I was like, did I just watch an isekai?
Yeah.
Because like it's a girl. She's moved to a new city. You know, a young woman. She's lonely. She's got a cat. She literally falls through some kind of weird portal and ends up in a new universe with an OP item. Who's sassy.
Well, no, we're peak millennial sass right here.
Yes. Which I know some people seem like they're a little jaded by, but I'm like, no, this is way more realistic than all those, goo goo gaga, goody two shoes anime characters who are like, golly gee willikers, it's so great. or however we translate that these days. There's no soft boy here. This is just, what the fuck? I'm fighting a dragon. Also, I can double jump now. But yeah, the actual action for Forspoken looks pretty cool. Like, it seems very highly mobile. It's an action RPG, I think, or possibly just a straight up action game. We don't even know. But our main character has some magic cuff bands that are sassy, like we said, and it lets her do a lot of different kind of looking spell work. Like, it seems like it's used to guard in some areas. It has like mobility, like you can shoot a grappling hook or something out. But also you can do like fire and ice attacks and other stuff. Lots of variants. Looks very good.
Yeah, no. Seems to be have a big emphasis on running and moving around. But I know it looks just quite fun.
We even get like a little tease of like a boss fight at the end.
We have a release window of early 2020 as well.
The Danger Zone.
The Danger Zone. Now, here, I guess, is what we're going to cast for, I would say me and Omega, probably be our first miss. This next one was Rainbow Six Extraction. Basically, Rainbow Six, but you have to fight a mutant virus, biological thing.
Yeah, also they're aliens, too.
They're aliens.
It's a weird alien. Yeah, okay. I've talked about this before. I admit I am definitely 100. I am the exact opposite of the target audience for this. I actually think it's very dumb that Ubisoft went this direction of like, hey, we're going to take Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, a brand which, by the way, when he licensed his name, Tom Clancy, who is now deceased, wanted it only kept to games that were like semi-realistic. Like, yeah, they could have like experimental or like limited release technology, but we're supposed to be like grounded, realistic thrillers. And you can debate whether some of the political themes of Tom Clancy stories were realistic, but like if you think about like old school Splinter Cell and shit, it was. And now we're doing fucking Left 4 Dead, Aliens, Colonial Marines shit. I don't know. That just rubbed me the wrong way as well. But also, I played the mode they made for Rainbow Six Siege that this is clearly based on, and I hated it. I hated this weird PvE shit. It was not good. Now, obviously, this is a whole ass different game. They've had years of development. The crew behind Siege are probably fucking bored of making new operators and balance tweaks every season. That game has been going on forever. But it is like this game, this extraction thing is just not for me.
No, and unfortunately, I've never been in. Well, I take that back. I am into PvE, like co-op kind of shooter things, but I've never been really into this Rainbow Six brand. I don't think I've ever played. Well, no, I take that back. I played several Tom Clancy games, but I've never played a Rainbow Six game. So I'm just like, meh.
Yeah, and I can see why, because Rainbow Six has always been a very, very tactical, strategic shooter. And Siege is primarily known as a PvP, so I can understand why you would not be into that. Because I love Siege a lot. I think I'm pretty bad at it, but yeah, it's very much like the sort of like high level competitive strategic shit.
There's an owl here? Okay. All right, but so wait, where was I? Oh yeah, so well, it's not my thing. If it's any of your guys' things, January 2022 is your window for it.
I know some people are like really excited. I'm like, yeah. I don't understand this, but okay, good for you, I guess. Have fun.
Yeah, no, have fun. So, after that, something mildly excited. We got the announcement for Alan Wake Remastered. This has been teased for a while now, but it is nice to actually see it in the works.
Yeah. And if you don't remember what Alan Wake, I can also sell this to you. These are the guys who made Control.
Yes.
And there was actually an Alan Wake DLC in Control.
Yes.
Which has led to a lot of rumors about a potential Alan Wake 2/Control 2 being tied into Alan Wake. But for now, we're showing a remaster on PlayStation for the first time, which I think makes sense, considering that Control was a very big game that PlayStation pushed as well. Like, I believe it was fully multi-platform, but I remember that Sony got in a lot of the marketing. Was it exclusive, or was it timed exclusive to PC? I don't even remember.
I don't remember. I played half of it on PC, but I never actually beat Alan Wake.
Yeah. I have seen people play through the whole game in its original jank-ass form, but I've never played it myself. But also, that was literally years ago, so I don't remember a lot of it. I just remember some of the mechanics. It has a lot of interesting, fun stuff with, like, literally you shine the flashlight on enemies to, like, make it so you can just shoot them. And stuff like that. A lot of playing around with that sort of stuff. And obviously, if you've seen the trailer, you know it's got big, like, Twin Peaks type vibes. So that'll be cool. And like I said, it's coming out soon, so that may be a stream game.
Yeah. We said this earlier, but October 5th. Just in time for Spook Month.
Spooky.
I mean, if I can get this splitter thing to work, I did just pick up Dead Space 1 through 3. Like, I have all 3 of them now.
Which is also very interesting because we didn't get a chance to talk about that, but that's another remake that's been announced.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, what studio was it? Was it EA Motive? I think it was EA Motive. One of EA's other studios is actually full-blown remaking Dead Space 1.
Yeah.
Like, it sounded from, like, some of the footage I've seen, it's leaning towards the high-def remaster type remake. Like, obviously, they're rebuilding a lot of the assets and stuff.
Yeah.
The gameplay will still be mostly the same, just with some tweaks. But that's pretty cool. That's actually kind of interesting because we also have that spiritual successor coming out as well. So,
yeah,
the original devs are making a different game in that vein, and also we've got some other devs kind of like trying to maybe bring back the branding. And who knows, if that's successful, we could see, those kind of things come together into remasters of 2, maybe a continuation. They can. I know a lot of people like kind of how 3 ended.
Well, 3 was in the peak of EA's microtransaction bullshittery.
Yeah, which EA, I think, has gotten a lot better about. Studios like Respawn and stuff like that have really got them into realizing, like, oh, hey, we don't have to literally make everything microtransactions. We make... And in fact, that doesn't work for anything that's not our sports games, so we should probably stop, because it doesn't work. We wanted it to work, but it doesn't, so fuck it. But yeah, so that's another pretty cool little bit of video game news, Dead Space. But yeah, if Lucky gets his splitter working, you do Dead Space. And if you ask yourself, oh, hey, what about Uncharted 4? Wait till later in the program. There's a reason for that. Oh, by the way, we're faffing a lot now on this because guess what? The next trailer was GTA 5 again.
It was. I actually checked it. Yeah, no, GTA 5 has been out since 2013, y'all. It's been out.
I never got to upgraded to the PS4 version. I play that game on PS3. Like I'm that far. Like that's the last time I played it. That's how old this fucking game is.
Yeah, no.
People keep buying shark cards, so.
Yeah.
Speaking of actions.
But yeah, no. Fun fact: Skyrim, I think, is one of the only games that beat that since that came out in 2011. Also had a fucking PS5 like upgrade.
Yeah, they also recently because the anniversary, the 10-year anniversary is coming up. They announced that they're making an anniversary edition. Which I will probably pick up eventually. I'm a sucker, and I do like Skyrim. And also, I want those sweet, sweet graphical updates. Holy shit.
Oh, I'll see what
especially that. Also, I do think they said that they were working towards... This is another thing that I think we can talk about. We're in a general kind of weird space of next-gen upgrades, right?
Right.
Where, like... There's a big debate about how much money they should cost and or should they be free. I think, for instance, Horizon Forbidden West backtracked. Like they were originally going to be a paid upgrade, but then they decided to make it free. Because there's not going to be any content difference, I think, between the two versions. It's just quality. So they were like, God, fuck it. If you can't buy a PS5 yet, we'll give you a free update if you buy the 4 version. Like how like Cyberpunk has promised when they eventually get around to that. And several other games, as opposed to another game we'll probably circle back to because there's so many fucking trailers to talk about in the showcase. But the Death Stranding Director's Cut final trailer came out also. Edited by Hideo Kojima in association with Hideo Kojima. I love how the man he embraces it because he cut the trailer himself, so he put those credits in there. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he do.
We'll talk more about that, I think. But that's a $10 upgrade because it has new content. The Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is actually out, and it's probably more like a Director's Cut because it lets you go to the whole other ass island of Tsushima and has way more content for like $30. I will have to pick that one up sometime as well. But yeah, so it's an interesting space we live in with all these like upgrades to the new versions and shit. I think there was some mention that the anniversary update to Skyrim will at least be discounted, if not free, if you already have Special Edition. It's weird.
It is weird, but I don't know.
I don't, and I don't know what the fuck about GTA 5. I don't think I'm gonna buy it again. Online was fun, but I've lived literally a whole console generation without it, so I'm cool.
Yeah, no.
You know what else is cool? Ghostwire.
Yeah, it is. So we got a trailer for Tokyo Ghostwire. They didn't show too much, but they did show what looks like to be the main character, who seems to...
Yeah, so Ghostwire's been in a weird state. We know that, like, they've had some switch-ups in the creative direction through the game. They've probably had to, like, reset development clocks a little bit here and there. You know, it's been delayed before. So the trailers have been very loosey-goosey and conceptual. This is not really a story trailer, but this is definitely the most like a story trailer we've got, right?
Yeah. Like, we already knew that you're going to be running around Tokyo punching basically Japanese urban legends and horror stories.
Yeah.
But this time we had a little bit of narration, and we had, like, what looks like to be the main character, who looks like old average Japanese...
Probably college student, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it looks like a college student.
He's wearing a fanny pack on his front, and also there's some weird shit that keeps going on with his eye. It's very creepy.
Yeah, some shit going on with his hand. But he can make cool hand signals and fight, you know, Slenderman, Hashaku-sama. There's another one that I recognize off the top of my head, but I don't know the name. It's
well, let's see. There's the Raincoat Ghost. There's some ghosts that are literally just like empty school uniforms.
I'm pretty sure they all equivalent to some sort of like urban legend.
It's either a classic yokai or an urban legend. Yeah. We also get a good look at what appears to be the main antagonist, which is a Hanaya, a guy wearing the demon mask, who's hanging out. Like I said, we get some faint hints of the trailer. There's like a girl in a hospital bed, and Demon Mask Man is like, "Don't worry, I'll take care of her." And then College Boy McVanilla is like, "Yeah," and then he gets his guts punched out or something.
Yeah,
but it still looks pretty sick.
It looks pretty sick. I don't know if I'm necessarily in like a day one buy, but I am a weeb and I do enjoy like Japanese urban legends and whatnot. So
it's one of those games where I would probably want to know like price point, time to beat kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, make sure it's not like really rough cut. You know, doesn't need a few patches, but we'll see.
It's like not a day one buy, but maybe like a first month buy or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Wait for reviews to make sure it's not like really fucking borked or awful on release. Because you never know.
You'd never. Yeah. But yeah, no. So that's they've narrowed it down to the broad date of 2022. So we'll find out sometime next year.
Yep.
But let me see here. After that, it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
Marvel is being good. Looks like this time. Well, last time they showed this off, they dedicated a lot of hecking time to just.
Yes.
But
Square did a big deal on this one at E3.
But this time it looks like they went a little bit further to like maybe show some of the conflict going on. And it's
the last one was just like they did a deep dive on like one quest that was specifically done.
Yeah.
This looks like it has more. Like this could also just be a single quest line, but it looks like it's dealing with more like greater plot stuff that our characters care about.
Yeah.
There's like emotional moments and stuff like that. Also, we get to see the talking dog. Some other weird shit.
Oh no.
I mean, it looks cool. I'm very interested. That's next month.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna pick it up immediately, but I'll keep my eye on it.
But I think the like Marvel PlayStation deal is killing it currently.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a. Well, that's near the end, but we'll get there. Don't worry, we will get there.
That was the big punch.
But like I said, this is
the big punch was Insomniac living up to their name because those guys can't possibly be sleeping.
Probably not, no. So let me see here. Oh yeah, so release date for that is October 26th, so that comes out late next month. So you got a little bit of time. But let me see here. Next is Deathloop. Deathloop is Deathloop. I don't think we've talked I think we're pretty sure we have talked long enough about Deathloop. It's fine.
Well, actually, so the next trailer I'm seeing in the thing was the VTM game, not Bloodlines 2, but the
the Vampire's Masquerade.
The Blood Hunt.
Oh, Blood Hunt. Oh, I must have forgot to write that down.
It looks like a competitive game. It's interesting, you know. It's I think it's like I don't know if it's like fully PvP only or if there's PvE elements. It's, you know, it's a multiplayer game, but it looks like they're definitely like drawn on a lot of the lore stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I made a joke about like deep lore cuts because in the trailer you like knock down a vampire and it's like hold square to diablerize, which is what happens when a vampire eats another vampire. It's supposed to be very bad. But I mean, it looks like they do the gothic superheroes thing that old school World of Darkness is known for pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of running, jumping, slashing, shooting guns, being spooky. So I'll keep an eye on this. I'm definitely more interested in like Bloodlines 2, but it's really interesting that new White Wolf / Onyx Path has like really opened up their video game licensing lately.
Oh, that's good. So is after that one the Deathloop trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
By the way, Blood Hunt is going to be sometime in 2021. No hard date. But yeah, Deathloop
comes out next week, guys.
Like, I feel like this one like gave us the most like story any of these trailers have had somehow, even though the game comes out in a week. Like, obviously there was always the Deathloop and a lady is hunting you, but like this one actually reveals a possible like Act 1 twist that the main character is actually the head of security at this island, but he doesn't fucking remember. And it talks about like Aeon and all the visionaries and whatever. Whatever. It's an arcane. It's going to be probably pretty mind-bendy. It looks like it's going to be fun. I will, you know, see what people say about like how tedious it is to play, and then I'll probably buy it sometime.
At some point.
Because I really do like Prey. Where's my Prey 2? Wait, no, hold on. We've got the thing with Bethesda and Xbox now.
Well, like I said, just it doesn't mean they'll necessarily do console exclusives, but especially not for Prey.
That's something we know for sure with Microsoft is they have gone so whole hog on playing your Xbox games on PC anyway that none of their games are really exclusive. Like I think even frickin' Halo Infinite will also be on like Windows right away.
Mm-hmm.
Which will be where the fuck I'm gonna play it. I am not paying, you know, that much more money for an Xbox when I can, you know, hopefully put a decent GPU in this box right here and be able to run it. Since my computer is not awful, it just I did not have a huge budget, so I bought it mostly for work, so it didn't come with any of the fancy gaming bits in it. Which was probably a mistake because actually like video rendering software like wants to use some of your GPU cycles, so that'll also probably make rendering videos faster. But anyway. That's right. After Deathloop, we got another weird thing.
What was this? Kid Amnesia?
Kid Amnesia, Kid Amnesia exhibition presented by Radiohead and Epic Games, coming in November to PlayStation 5. I don't know if this is a game. I think it might just be like a weird art project thing.
Well, yeah, because Kid Amnesia are Radiohead titles Radiohead albums that came out. So I don't fucking know. I honestly don't. It's just weird.
It was weird and short, and it's gone now.
We'll find out in November.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And so to break up all those gritty, dark action shooty man games, we had a different trailer.
Yeah. So, oh god, what was the name of this one?
How the fuck do I just saw it. How do you say this? There's a T and a CH in it. Chia? Ticha? I especially because they go out of their way to say a game inspired by New Caledonia. I don't want to seem like I'm being like racially insensitive or anything. I'm just like, I literally don't. You've stuck some phenoms together with English letters. I don't know what you want me to say. Romanization is weird sometimes, guys. Anyway,
yes, it is.
I can spell it for chat.
So,
TCHIA.
Chia?
Yeah.
Anyway, it looks like a cute and wholesome game about, you know, kids exploring an island, you know, finding out stuff, possessing animals, running around. All that good stuff.
You know, it's got some light Legend of Zelda inspiration vibes. You've got like a leaf parish.
You know, I was feeling some Wind Waker.
Yeah. There's a little bit of Spookton
Mm-hmm.
You know, there seems to be some slight industrial weird encroachment, but it's also another funny Legend of Zelda parallel is you've got a little. I mean, I guess it could just be a small guitar, but it looks kind of like a ukulele. But there was literally a menu of like what note to play.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Jason Schreier had to take the shot. It's like Last of Us 2 remake already. I'm all like, Jason Schreier. I waggled my finger at him a little bit.
I know several other people who made that joke as well. But yeah, like, so obviously it's not just you wander around an island. There's some mystical elements because you can become seagull, become crab. It looks like you can, you know, problem solve with different animals. Like, obviously birds can fly, you know, the dog can dig, the crab's claws can cut through steel chains. Don't ask me about that. You can become a turtle and swim. You know, so, you know, a variety of exploring and problem-solving things with adorable animals.
Mm-hmm.
And probably some, you know, coming-of-age shit.
Yep. Twitter-wise, I find this hilarious because at the end of the trailer, they go out of their way to show that you can pet the crab. And there was, I went to check on Twitter, and well-known artist Yorha was just talking about, like, everyone is messaging me about how I can pet this crab in the game. Clearly, we have reached, like, the peak of gaming civilization. I'm just like, I knew this was going to happen. But, so, I don't actually have a release date on that because I couldn't remember how to spell it to save my life.
The trailer does not seem to provide, wait, hold on. We're in the postscript with the pet the crab. The crab had a little heart. And I think it's just a hard cut to black and motion. Yeah, so no date. Not even a window. So this is probably a ways out.
I'm pretty sure this is Joji Nakata serenading me with his voice. Can't be sure.
Happens. We have a rough release date somewhere in 2022. It will be a simultaneous release on Epic Game Store, PS4, and PS5.
Okay.
And I'm going to assume Epic is scoring some of these exclusivity because it seems like from these trailers we're seeing that they are, there's a lot of Unreal Engine technology going in here, so makes sense. Because in case you didn't know, that Epic is also the guys who, I don't remember if they started as the studio who makes Unreal Engine or if they, like, acquired them, but, like, they own Unreal now, so they don't even need fucking exclusive games. They make money no matter what, but here we are. And next one, this is the thing we were alluding to earlier.
Yeah, no, we have a Uncharted 4. I don't even know necessarily I want to call it a remaster, a glow up.
Yeah, I mean it is technically in the classical sense a remaster. Like this is, hey, this game came out on PS4. You can, I believe, download it as part of the like PS4 Essential Collection. But we're going to, like, full-blown up-res everything and use all the PS5 technology to make it super pretty. It's UC4 and Lost Legacy.
Yeah, no, they didn't necessarily...
What are they calling this?
Legacy Collection.
Legacy Collection, okay.
Yeah, no, after the trailers dropped... Like, this was the thing. After these trailers dropped, all the devs teams went on with their... with their announcements.
Dev teams had press releases. Embargoes ended so journalists could talk about shit. It's pretty usual. When they did the, not Tokyo Game Show, Gamescom, like a week or 2 weeks ago, it was the same, you know? Unfortunately, lots of people only see the trailers, which is why we get, you know, reactions like how people were butthurt about Saints Row and stuff, without actually knowing anything about the game.
You know, but
yeah, so that's pretty cool. I think they said that they're intending it sometime in 22, like on Twitter and stuff. But,
they said early 22, so
yeah. But the actual trailer itself is just basically a sizzle reel, and then it ends.
Yeah, no, but honestly, that's all you really need.
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, it's like these games already came out. They're, you know, Uncharted is one of the tentpole PlayStation franchises now. But it's very funny because we stopped after Uncharted 3 on the Nathan Drake collection because 4 is a, you know, bigger and glowier game because it was on the PS4. you could argue that it was probably exclusively made for the PS4 because Naughty Dog had already moved on to Last of Us, and then probably Papa Sony came knocking him. Was like, hey, we got a new console. Can you guys make an Uncharted game? And they were like, yeah, we can do that. And now on PS5, they're like, we don't even need you to make a new game. Just pay somebody to remaster those 2 games. But I mean, I'm interested. Like I said, we'll probably wait for the full glow up because I mean, especially this close, there's no real reason for me to play the old version of a game and then just play it again in 6 months.
Well, the good thing too is since it's gonna come with lock-ins, I guess we can knock both of them out.
Yeah, well, I'll just pick up both and we'll do them both because that was a question that came up. Like, would we do Lost Legacy? And I was like, we should probably do Lost Legacy, but that's not free downloaded anywhere, so I'll have to like scoop it up from somewhere. But yeah, so Legacy Collection will be both, so we can do that. And then like you said, this was 30 straight minutes of trailers, and then the head of PlayStation Studios came out and it was like, hello, we do games. We're going to show you more. Goodbye. And I think this is when Sony went crazy, because this is when we get our first Insomniac trailer.
Yeah. So we started off, the scene was kind of just in a bar. Looks like there'd been a fight. You don't see his face.
Also, this was prefaced with the Marvel logo, though.
Yes, this was.
So, there's something Marvel, but there's a bar fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Not actual gameplay, the trailer says.
Mm-hmm. But with that, Oh, I think I probably failed. Yeah, that was painful.
There's a lot of slow pan and a lot of, like, slow build-up to action to the money shot that people expected.
Yeah. Because you only get to see the dude's arm, which has completely bloody knuckles. But when one guy gets up and looks like he's about to start a fight, you just see the shk. And, yep, the schnick. And, boom, it's motherfucking Wolverine. And then, they cut to the title, Marvel's Wolverine. We're just like, ooh.
Yep. Insomniac making Marvel's Wolverine. That's going to be pretty fucking wild.
Mm-hmm. So
that was a pretty get hype moment.
Yeah, I know. It's like, because honestly, I have to say, Insomniac, what they did with Spider-Man was pretty damn good. They kind of, because with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like going kind of ham with it is, its continuity is a little bit of a bitch right now, especially to think about like games and whatnot. Especially with like a whole bunch of all the licensing agreements and and stuff. So what Insomniac was able to do with maintaining the kind of cinematic universe continuity while still being able to kind of do their own thing was very nice.
Yeah, they very clearly were inspired by the visual style of the MCU and by how the MCU handles plot lines, which is basically cherry picking the best stuff from 80 years of comics or whatever, and tying them all together thematically with the pre-established stories. So they basically did all that and were like, hey, Spider-Man. Sony may have just released a award-winning, marvelous, super great animated Spider-Man movie about all these Spider-Mans.
It's a lot of Spider-Mans.
It's Enter the Spider-Verse. Go watch it if you haven't already, you pleb. It's fucking amazing.
This guy's
and honestly, I suspect Enter the Spider-Verse also probably like influenced like the fact that was in dev by a Sony studio kind of influenced some of their decisions with like including Miles right away.
Mm-hmm.
Which even became a semi-sequel game, Miles Morales, which they also released.
It's
I have, by the way. I need to sit down and play when I've got some time.
It's like
I went very ham on the remaster of Spider-Man for PS5, so I was a little Spider-Man out by the time I was done. But I should go back and play, especially because of other news. But yeah, so Insomniac refuses to sleep and are releasing Marvel's Wolverine, which is going to be something.
It's gonna be something. Immediately, though, we followed up with that. Insomniac had another game. Oh, god damn, this dude is so fucking fast.
Well, yeah. So, in the showcase, Gran Turismo, whatever number, 7?
Yeah.
That was in the middle for, like, 5 minutes. Listen. Cars? Yeah. Lucky and I are not big car game guys. And I personally prefer, like, I'm not averse to racing games. I prefer, like, I really love the classic F-Zero. I also prefer, like, the Need for Speed style, like, like street racing type stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you know, Jack X combat racing type stuff.
Jack X combat was
You know, some interactive things. You know, you get some fun stuff. You know, you get to throw some nos at your problems, whatever. Like Gran Turismo, Forza, whatever. That's not really for me. Like, yeah, it's very pretty, but I don't really care about driving around real life racetracks or whatever. It looks really cool if you're into these games. Like, there's a lot of like customization. The graphics are really high fidelity. It looks like you can do a lot of, you know, weird jank stuff. Like you can, you know, drive futuristic supercars, classic cars, and then like there's a couple of shots of them driving around like old army jeeps and shit. But it's not for us. So we go immediately to the next Insomniac one.
Yep.
Insomniac doesn't sleep.
They do not sleep. Oh, God. Sorry, I'm trying to fight this fucking boss, and he's just like, I'm just doing nothing but AoEs. How does that make...
You know, at least they show you some zones.
Yeah, but then he moves way too fast for me to keep up with.
Yeah, I've noticed. He's a fast boy.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we kind of jumped right into it. How many hours have you been playing Arise?
Do I actually have a... Whoops, that is the wrong button. And actually, let me plug in my controller real quick, because I'm getting the boop. Alright, let me plug it in. But let me see. That was the wrong button. I cannot flee. Yeah. Let me see here. Actually, let me focus on healing here. Once I get out of this fight at some point, which I hope I can, I'll be able to check. But it's been over 10. Damn it! It's been over 10 hours.
Which is very impressive since the game came out yesterday.
Yes.
But all right, so I mean, I know what we're talking about. So while Lucky's concentrating on the boss,
I'm
I'll say it's Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 got announced. Full-blown sequel. You see action shots of Pete and Miles together, doing stuff, doing like a team-up finisher. That's led to a lot of people wondering if there will be co-op, and if not, probably like actual AI assistance from Miles. A lot of people have pegged that it sounds like it's going to involve Kraven the Hunter, which is a name I recognize, but no more than that. But also at the very end of the trailer, Venom. So that's another big thing that's going to probably be pretty interesting. I don't know if we're going to jump straight to Venom, if we'll do like symbiote suit Spider-Man things. But that's you got 2 years. That's not until 2023. Did they say Wolverine to be 2022? I think so.
Oh, God damn it.
I don't remember exactly. But yeah, so that was Insomniac's, you know, next big mic drop was, hey, also we're making a full-blown sequel to Spiddly Man.
Spiddly Man.
2 Spiddly Mans, and there's going to be a 3rd Spiddly Man because we're putting Venom in it. And we're like, wow, damn. That'll probably be pretty interesting because they did a lot of really good work with the Sinister Six and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's I think a lot of fun opportunity. And I like more Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, like I very enjoyed very much the first Spider-Man. I have not played Miles Morales myself either. But
well, yeah, that's because it was a PS5 launch title, and you did not have a PS5 at launch.
No, I did not. Oh. Oh no, you're hubris. But yeah. So Spider-Man 2, I'm excited. That probably will be a day one buy for me. Especially did we even have a release date? No, we didn't.
Nah, just the year. 23.
Yep.
So you got 2-ish years.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sony had the big finish.
Yeah, no, it's...
I don't remember, was it the PlayStation Showcase at the start of this year that they dropped this bomb on us, or was this at the PS5 launch that they did this?
This was like early last year that they dropped this on.
Yeah. So I think it was in like the final PS5 teaser was like, hey, BT Dubs, Dad of Boy sequel.
Yeah, and guess what? We got Data Boy fucking trailer.
Yeah.
God of War Ragnarok is coming. It's looking...
Boy is slightly larger now.
Mm-hmm.
Changes voice actor. Also, if I'm not mistaken, that sounds a lot like Taylor Gray, who some people may recognize as the voice of Ezra from Star Wars Rebels. There's a lot of dwarves, a lot of goopy shit. It's God of War. This could be another, well, also Ragnarok, but Dad of Boy, the original one, is also on the PS4 like Essentials Collection, and I have never actually played any God of War games.
Really?
Yeah. When the first couple came out, I was too young. I was only like, whoa, gosh, I'd have to check the dates, but it was definitely not the kind of game that I would be allowed to buy. I had to fight with my parents to buy Metal Gear Solid 4. So it was absolutely like I kind of just missed out on it, and I gotta be real. I don't think I was that edgy of a kid. And old school God of War games, very edgy.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't really have any like brand loyalty, and I just didn't have the time to pick it up, even though I heard it was good. But it is on the Essentials Collection for PS Plus for the 5, so I could easily play it, and then we can catch up on the sequel.
Okay.
Seems like they're doing some interesting things. We meet Tyr in the trailer, and I notice he's got 2 hands. So,
for those not in the know, Tyr loses one of his arms when he puts it into Fenrir's mouth, so they can chain him down.
Yeah, Fenrir is like, I'll only let you chain me up if one of you puts your hand in my mouth. And Tyr, who's like his best bro, is like, I'll do it. And Tyr loses a hand. So Tyr is very infamously a one-handed god, which I don't know what the fuck that means in the context of God of War, because God of War is pretty crazy from what I understand.
It probably means we're just gonna have to meet fucking Fenrir. I'm pretty sure the Gleipnir is gonna be some sweet fucking chain that Kratos will like do with or something. I don't fucking know.
We do see some chain weapon action in the trailer. You grappling and shit. So who knows?
Who knows?
They showed off that Boy has some new moves. He's like hunting and fighting and summoning ghost elk. So they're doing some interesting stuff. When was this? Okay, the Horizon Forbidden West trailer was in June. Sorry, we hit the end of the showcase, so I just saw the recommended. I'm like, when was that? That is a game I still need to finish. Zero Dawn. I'm like 10 or 20 hours in. As is, pretty typical with open world games.
It takes a minute.
You poke it for a few hours, you get out of the tutorial zone, it really opens up, and you're like, man, this is all really cool. What do I do first? I don't know. And then you put it down for like 5 seconds, and you're like, shit, I completely forgot about that game. I should finish it sometime. But yeah, so overall, PlayStation Showcase 2021 was a banger. Like, obviously, not all of it was exclusives, and I think even the stuff that is exclusive isn't really exclusive. It'll be on, PCs in some format in, 6 to 12 months. But it's a good showing for PlayStation, and I think it's gonna kind of reinforce that they are kind of killing it this generation. Yeah. Like, listen, okay, if you have an Xbox, that's fine. I've already talked about I'm a big fan of Halo, for instance. I've liked several properties that are under Microsoft now or have historically always been under Microsoft. But never been a huge fan of the console. A lot of the game styles I like have always been really big on PlayStation, but that's probably because I'm a huge weeb. And I think until this generation, this Xbox presence in Japan has been awful. I still don't know how good it is, but I think everybody takes what next gen console they can get these days. But yeah, PlayStation is really killing it with like exclusives, first party titles, timed exclusives, licensing deals, etc. Working with Marvel and stuff, for instance. And it looks like 2022 is going to be a great year, and they got a lot of fun stuff coming.
Now, we can talk a little bit about games outside of the case, because, like we said, Kojima was a madman and released a trailer at midnight.
Yep. He tweeted about it too. He was like, "I'm doing it manually." like probably it was scheduled for something, and he was like, "Fuck it, no." Trailer, edited by Hideo Kojima, released by Hideo Kojima. And yeah, so we got a final trailer for Death Stranding Director's Cut. Lucky and I have been talking about this. I think we both agree with Hideo Kojima himself. Director's cut's kind of a misnomer.
Yeah.
It is, unfortunately, though, it is kind of what the parlance is these days.
It is.
Even though it really should be, like, a much better would be, like, extended cut if you were going to reference a movie. And just, it's basically how, like, every fucking game had a Game of the Year edition, even though, how could there be this many games of 1 year?
Mm-hmm.
Still, you know.
So, like I said,
it's a good trailer.
It's a good trailer. What was the name of the song and artist? It was like...
yes, Hideo Kojima handpicked the song as usual. The song is Goliath by the band Woodkid.
Woodkid, that's what it was.
You might have even have heard of them. I was checking out some of their discography, and apparently a couple of their other songs have been used for trailers tied to stuff before.
Oh, actually, I think the one that you're talking about was actually used on an Assassin's Creed game, I think.
Yeah, Run Boy Run.
Yeah.
Which is a good song, but yeah, like, so they're not unknown to the world of licensed music.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's a pretty good song. It's also really, a lot of their music is really fucking dark, but like I actually like pulled up the music video and listened to the lyrics, and it's like it's not a happy song, but it's got that kind of dark electronica stuff that I know I like.
Mm-hmm. No.
So it's pretty good, and it fits the beats pretty good of the trailer. So the trailer came out. I don't think other than it being a trailer that presents information to you as Hideo Kojima wanted it presented to you, I don't think the trailer actually showed us a lot of new stuff.
Nah.
It's mostly just, you get the idea. The graphics are better. There's some new tools. They showed off Robot Buddy. They showed off the racetrack stuff. They showed off the gun range. And they did show off some of the boss fights, indicating like some of the actual boss fight AI and designs are a little bit different and improved.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. The only thing I want to know, like I said, is how it interacts with my save files from the PS4 version. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not opposed to starting the whole ass game over again. It's just I'm probably not going to do that right now. I got other shit to do. I have a backlog. I got to play a whole ass Zelda game. I want to play No More Heroes 3. Fucking Guardians of the Galaxy comes out at the end of next month. Far Cry 6 comes out early next month. I don't know. Once again, don't know if that's a day one buy for me, but I am very interested in it. So like, you know, it's end of the season. There's some tight releases, so I want to know how that will work out. I'm definitely interested, but it was a pretty sick trailer.
Yeah, no.
I do also believe that in kind of the usual buzz around this thing, Norman Reedus did hint that they may be in talks for a sequel.
That'd be pretty baller.
Yeah. It would be very interesting, because, I mean, first of all, I think we can all agree, Hideo Kojima is the man who can make sequels out of nothing. No offense to every single Metal Gear Solid game that wasn't Metal Gear Solid ever. I love a lot of those games. But Hideo Kojima is the guy who's like, after every Metal Gear game, he's like, I'm done. It's done forever. Don't need to do any more. And then Konami was like, okay, but we want some more Metal Gear. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll do this. And then he does another one. And then they're like, can you make another one? And he's like, oh, fine, we'll do a prequel. Like you kind of get the feeling that Hideo Kojima is simultaneously fucking over Metal Gear. Like, he's done with it, but also he's never done. He can always come up with some other dumb idea. So I suspect that he could make a sequel to Death Stranding that would be interesting. He'd come up with some other new weird shit to do. Alternatively, you could just take out all the supernatural stuff and just make it a fucking delivery simulator. That sounds like the Hideo Kojima move, to be honest. Like, we ditch all the BTs and the coming back from death shit, and we just deliver packages.
I mean, delivering packages was zen in its own right.
Yeah, and that, like, hey, like, I'm excited to try some of those new methods. Fucking cargo catapults, actually take your robot buddy drone out with you to carry heavy shit. You know, like there was definitely something very zen, very art of no thought about, okay, how many packages can I carry? How many can I split up here? Put them here, put them here. No, this got to go in the truck. Okay, how many can I fit in the truck? Like, just like organizing the volume of yourself and to the terrain, right? Like being like, oh shit, this has to go to the survivalist up in the mountain. Okay, so we're gonna hike. I'm gonna need to use my zip lines, that whole thing. I can't get the truck up there. Versus like, oh shit, we got like 4 deliveries that are just like one box to this city. Fuck it, I'll take this highway I built. So I'm stuff like the cargo catapult and stuff. That'll be pretty fun. I mean, some of the stuff I'm like, I don't really give a shit about the racetrack. Like it looks funny, and I get the community aspect of it, right?
Right.
I'm not super excited for it, but I just said that I'm not a big car guy, so
yeah.
Hideo Kojima, I don't know if Hideo Kojima is a car guy. He is a tech guy, so I can see why.
Alrighty, got that one done.
So that'll be cool. Any other big video game? I've been a couple of events and stuff. Obviously, Rise came out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal if you are into that sort of thing. Never played a Tales game myself, but have fun, kids.
Just ye old JRPG. Can't really say I have full thoughts on it because I'm still in the midst of it. I probably need a couple more days into it before I have anything concrete I want to say about it.
There was apparently a new trailer for Metroid Dread people are excited about.
I always feel like I should be playing more Metroid, but I don't have the time. I don't have the time.
Yeah. There was a new trailer for SMT5. I don't know if I got time for that.
Oh yeah, I can check how long I've been playing here. Hang on. Field guide. Play records. Total time right now is 11 hours and 42 minutes. So I have been going for a minute.
So another thing I have dug up that I think will be interesting is Square Enix is going to be at Tokyo Game Show 2021. That'll be October 1st.
Yep.
That will be a big deal, I think, because that will be even more of their stuff. So we've got Final Fantasy Origins coming back. They're going to have more Forspoken stuff.
Yep. Maybe we'll get more on 16. Actually,
16. I'm looking at the schedule list. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
So it's Final Fantasy Origin, Guardians of the Galaxy, Forspoken, Final Fantasy VII: The First Soldier, Project Triangle Strategy. That's good. It's been about a year since you released a demo, guys. Deep Insanity Asylum, Dragon Quest X online and offline. Let's see. Final Fantasy XIV, Saga Collection, Romancing Saga, Imperial Saga Eclipse, Brave, Exvius, and War of the Visions, Brave, Exvius.
Oh.
So is 16 not on here?
Oh, maybe not then, huh?
I mean, they got a couple of small things. Let's see. They could squeak some stuff out.
They might.
They got a couple of rando panels.
They might. Well, unfortunately, 16 is probably still not actually that far in the dev cycle. Because I was actually thinking about this earlier. When Yoshi P did that big stream and Yoko Taro was all like, "Hey, let me in this game," and he was all like, "We're only done with the English voice acting." It came out later that they did the English voice acting first because to better fit the game culture and whatnot. But then I was thinking about that, like, when exactly does voice acting take place in game development? And honestly, it's usually pretty early. Like,
yeah, I would. Yeah, I think it would make sense because what you probably nail down first is basic engine shit and story structure, right?
Yeah, no,
because you have to know where you're going in the game before you could do shit like designing environments and boss fights.
Yeah, no, so they probably got like concept arts. They probably have character models done.
Yeah,
but
script.
Yeah,
like character outlines so they can do casting and have people do roles. But there's going to be, I'm sure, a lot of like game design fine tuning. Also, I wanted to bring this up. This is very similar to like the big delay of like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, right?
Right.
Both games we knew were coming out for a long ass time. Both games were headed by Tetsuya Nomura. He's a busy man.
Yeah.
So 16 is being headed by
we call him Yoshi P.
By Yoshi P, by the director of 14.
Yeah.
14 is also still doing content. They've got a huge expansion release coming this year still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, that guy's also got to be super busy.
But I like how he's not so busy that he can sometimes just hang out, drink wine on stream, and bake cookies, though.
Yeah, I'm very curious. So he's that's day 3 is going to be the 14 panel headed by him.
Yeah, that's late October. Yeah, so it's probably going to be like it's probably going to be the final patch before Endwalker.
That would make sense, because let's see. What do we got? The first day's mostly bullshit, just intro stuff, merch, Lounge Jam, Square Enix Special Live featuring the Ryo Miyachi Quintet. And then also they're going to do a special on Forspoken. So they're going to have actual devs of Forspoken come out and talk. So we'll probably get some harder and faster like game design ethos. Hello, this is what we had in mind when we designed this game. And then day 2 is a lot more packed. That's a lot of like talking about Brave Exvius stuff. Final Fantasy Origin is kind of their end there. Dragon Quest X stuff. Saga. There's going to have a Nobu Uematsu special for like 45 minutes. And also, their last event on the day 2 stream is Square Enix Jazz live painting. God, I love how weird, like, especially I think Japanese like news streams can be when they're like they need to fill time. Fuck it, we'll just play some jazz. And then the last day looks like they've got a couple of different things. I do not like Lucky. I'm gonna relate to you the people on a panel and then the name of a panel and why it makes me feel danger. So this is a panel featuring Keiichi Okabe, near series composer, Yoko Taro, near series creative director, and Yosuke Saito, near series producer. It is entitled Educational Program World of Okabe, as in the composer. But they brought out the producer and Yoko Taro, so I'm like, I have a concern.
Well, if you haven't heard, actually, Square Enix has said that they're doing a new game with Yoko Taro and the same people. Apparently, what did they call it? I didn't actually write down the name because I'm an idiot. Hang on, let me look it up here. New Yoko Taro game. Thank you for knowing. Let's see here. That is not what I was looking for. But basically, he said it's something not Drakengard, but it has to do with like an Isle of Dragons. It's like a card-based thing or something. I can't remember what the fuck it is. Hang on,
He's doing some shit. Okay.
He's doing some shit.
I'm like, that's why I'm like, I have concern.
I have concern as well.
Because this is called Educational Program, but you actually brought out Yoko Taro. Like, it could just be they're just going to talk about how, like, they make music for these games, but also...
I mean, no, Yoko Taro's involved. It's going to be something weird.
He's going to be weird.
He's going to be weird.
He's going to be weird. So, yeah, so that's October 1st. That looks like our next big boy, I think, games event.
Mm-hmm. But yes, there's gonna be other things at the game show, but I think Square Enix is like one of the biggest at the moment.
I mean, they've blocked out 3 fucking days, so makes sense, obviously.
Honestly, this is something I do want.
This
is something I want to actually point out about Square Enix. I actually find a little bit interesting, especially when I compare it to someone like the Lightworks. Square Enix is like very aware of its global audience.
Yeah.
Like I can the best reason I can use is Final Fantasy 14. When Final Fantasy 14 does events, like when they did the digital fest back a few months ago, that was entirely in Japanese, but they had translators on site, whatnot, to convey things and do translations and whatnot, just so everyone can be involved. Like when they do their big live streams, they're in Japanese right then, but they don't necessarily go out of their way to translate it, but they'll always come up with a transcript of it later so everyone can read it in several different languages. And I was just thinking about that. It's like, yeah, that's a little wild to think about how they go through so much effort to make sure that all their communities are find out what's going on. Which then you look at the Lightworks, and it's all the Lightworks who are maybe a little bit different.
They are definitely fair on the NA side. They are fairly involved, but when it comes to new JP stuff, they're just like, nah, this is for JP.
It's for JP. It's even though they know I know they know They have...
Well, yeah, I mean, they definitely know because they have their JP creators do any exclusive stuff, you know? Nissan working on his English, doing dev diaries and stuff, right? But they don't necessarily be like, we've talked about this before. They'll do FGO streams where they're like, and now get on your Line app in Japan and, you know, dial this number to vote on this weird game we're doing. And I know obviously Line is available over here, but it's not quite the same presence, you know, right?
Right.
I don't even know what is it still Facebook? I mean, I know they do Facebook, but I don't know what their kind of interfacing is like. They do Twitter on both sides of the ocean. But yeah. So, still, you are right. It is an interesting comparison.
Yeah, no, but I kind of like reckon it because, you know, Square Enix is just kind of this big global presence. Like, they have like multiple game studios everywhere, so I think it's one of those things they just kind of have to be aware of.
We know that they have, for instance, Square Enix owns Eidos Montreal, which obviously is in Montreal. You know, so like they are a truly global company, even if they started as just SquareSoft in the old Japans.
First they were Square, then they were SquareSoft, then they were Square Enix.
Acquired Enix.
But, I was thinking about stuff. So...
I'm just scrolling back through some news over the last couple of days, making sure we're not missing anything.
No, well...
I got some anime news, but I don't know about video game stuff we got left over.
I can talk about Gacha a little bit, because I've been playing
Go for it.
So, I've been, like, speaking of, like, Square Enix and Yoko Taro and all that stuff, I've been playing Nier Reincarnation, and I've been having thoughts about it, and, you know, thinking about the game system and whatnot. And I actually decided to throw money at it because we are in the Nier Replicant collab, so I can get, you know, characters from that. You can get Emil, Kaine, and the World Ender. Funny name. And I was actually thinking about it because I was throwing money at the gacha so I can get the characters. I was like, I actually really do enjoy Nier Reincarnation's gacha system. Like I said, you don't get necessarily as much gem for your buck like you would in like FGO, but it has a lot of like little other things that like make it great. Because for one, they do have a spark system. Basically, you do 200 rolls. You can just pick a fucking character. Just pick a fucking character. And they only have, like... And, like, usually when they have, like, the limited rate-ups, there's only, like, limited 4-stars. There's no such thing as, like, a limited 3-star. So... Like, right... Oh, is this person dead? I think he's dead. But, so... Oh, no, he's not dead. You live, bitch. So, like... I dropped, what was it, like $160. I was able to buy 2 big packs. They had a little special going on for extra gems. I was all like... So I was like, alright, I'll like buy out these packs, and I'll throw it all at the banner. I was able to get up to like 150 on there, and then just by playing the game, I was able to make enough to get the other and get the final character. So I got all 3 characters. I was like, oh, that's really, really nice. But this is a gacha game, so, you know, they want you to do things. They want you to have, like, multiple copies so you can upgrade them. Except, like, the game doesn't, like, lock you into having to get extra copies. They actually have another system where you have to get, what was it? Let's say some sort of advanced training guide or something. But you can gather them in events and whatnot, and it lets you upgrade your characters like one would upgrade with, like, you know, getting an extra. So I was like, okay, so, you know, rolling is not the only solution. You don't get the training manuals like as often as you could, but it's still there. It's not a 0, which I think is important. Also, interestingly enough, they actually have a pack you can buy. I don't know if it's like how many times you can buy it, but it's like $23.99, and they'll just give you the materials to do the upgrade, but you have to like do some quests in the game to unlock them all. So it's like, spend $24, do some quests, boom, you now have the items to upgrade your fucking limited character that you're probably never going to be able to roll for again. It's like, oh, lovely. Which,
yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting because like once you start spending money on, like, unfortunately this is the problem I have. Like I have this mentality, like I've already spent money on this game. There's no, like, I don't feel anything particularly bad about, you know, spending more. So, like if I was in a stuck spot, I can see myself be like, I got $24. I can just do this or buy this so I can, you know, improve my characters without, you know, having to maybe wait for a rerun or whatnot. It's quite ingenious. They have firmly have a grasp on my wallet. But no, Reincarnation seems to be going pretty strong, and I like it. Fortunately or fortunately, I'm talking about Square Enix's global presence is what I was thinking about it. It does seem like that Near Reincarnation, this global version, is working to catch up to its JP counterpart. We have at the moment, we usually have 3 events going at the same time. A few have ended already, and events, they're not necessarily hard. And like I said, there is an auto battle feature, so you can, you know, work on it kind of mindlessly.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot going on.
Keeping track of, even if they're easy, keeping track and performing 3 different events at the same time or whatever is hard.
Yeah.
Like, splitting your attention. Even if they're simple and you can auto battle them, that means you have to be like, okay, I'm done with this one, move to that. Like, you don't get to rest. You have to, like, do multiple things in the same span.
Yeah. But people are definitely thinking that we're trying to catch up to JP because we actually had an event not too long ago where we celebrated the JP half anniversary. That was actually one of the events we did, and we're just like, wait a minute, we're the NA version. Why are we necessarily celebrating the JP version? So people are like, no, we're just trying to catch up. That's why we're going like hell-bent on this.
That definitely sounds like a trying to catch up thing, yeah.
Yeah, so again, like, I think that's pretty neat. It'd be good. Like, it'd be good to be maintained like concurrent with events and get things, like, you know, as everyone else gets them. You know, it hurts for, you know, the lack of clairvoyance, for lack of a better word, but you know, you get that way, you get the authentic experience.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing that I think is becoming more popular as gacha type games realize they can break out and choose to break out into the global market faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, FGO waited 2 years to try an NA version, and they kind of very deliberately committed to, okay, we've got a 2-year fucking gap. We're not closing. That would be crazy hard to do. We're not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas games like, I think both Genshin and Arknights are like down to months of gap, and Genshin is even tighter than Arknights because it was like maybe months before they released a global version, you know? So like, as we go further down into evolution, these companies who are backing these games, some of whom are you know, quite large or are backed by big partners. I mean, like, hey, like you fucking said, the Destiny Child devs are making a fucking AAA looking action game for PlayStation now. So like, we're fucking plugged in. Just call me when you guys decide to release that Last Origin uncensored. There's still, that game is so popular in fan art, like, all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's gotten so I can recognize the fucking characters. I'm like, is this a last? Yeah, it's a Last Origin piece. I know that character. But like, there is so much of like everything out there that's like so concurrent that games have realized, oh, we can literally, like, we spend like an extra a month of time maybe to get like some beta testing out, and we can release globally if our game doesn't explode, and we can close that gap, you know? And it's an interesting era of the global marketplace we live in, is as like, I don't think gacha style mobile games are as popular as other like fire and forget mobile games, but the gacha mechanic, I think, has reached such like, I mean, let's be real. It's basically like the new style of microtransactions, or it's like the Japanese, or I guess greater, because Korean and Chinese games are doing it too.
Yeah.
Like a greater like Asian game design sphere take on microtransactions, but almost in like I feel like it's almost in a more like tangible way than like loot boxes. Like, loot boxes are just like, ooh, whatever, you know. And a lot of the successful loot box models were like, ooh, cosmetics. Gacha is like, no, you don't understand. These are units. These are limited time. These are special units. These are special characters that you can relate to. But also, you get some normalized characters in the game anyway, and you've got some permanent characters. Like, you don't need these limited characters, but you kind of need these limited characters, you know? Like, it's it's a different style of marketing and approach that I think works really well so long as you're moderately fair. And also, if, let's be real, if you're a big name franchise, you can choose to be unfair, and there are some suckers who'll go for you anyway. I've heard a lot of people bitch about like how bad some like specific anime tie-in gacha games are.
Yeah, I try not to go for anime. I don't really like playing anime tie-in gacha games. I really don't.
I really do want to, not right now, because I'm fucking log jammed up with lotto boxes. I'm behind on it, even though, God, I think we mistimed it. It was because it launched last night. People don't forget to get your grails.
Oh shit, that's right.
People, including Lucky.
Yes, that is me.
I got mine. But this note is all sabers, no ruler at the end, and it's got 3 enemies, and it's way easier than the last one. So I'm gonna catch the fuck up now. But after that, I still, because I've been seeing those. It's so weird, right? YouTube ads are really hit or miss, you know? And I see them all the time because I watch so much on my PS5, and I gotta be real, they're kind of obnoxious. Like, most of them, like 90% of them are unskippable. I don't know if the algorithm has realized I skip ads all the time, and they're like, fuck it, this kid doesn't watch any ads. Also, I call myself a kid. I'm like 28. I still don't feel very old, guys. Other than when I feel existentially old, when I realize shit like, oh yeah, Skyrim came out 10 years ago.
I remember when I was hyped for that. I remember I remember all the Fusro Da memes. Ah!
So many memes. And good memes too, because the fucking shout out to was it Jeremy Soule? Poser for Skyrim. Great stuff. Yeah. I don't know. I should probably shell out for premium. Also, it lets you download videos and stuff for offline storage. I should check what the price point on that is. I'm already paying for a bunch of shit. I could probably squeak in another purchase or two. Another monthly subscription. But, yeah. So, anyway. But, like, some of them are local ads. Like, the night I physically moved my fucking PlayStation and plugged in my Ethernet cable, YouTube was like, hey, you live in a new place now. Here's a local ad. I won't say where it is, but it's like it was a business that's very clearly local. I think I may even have driven by them while I was moving up. But like sometimes they're like, a lot of times it's nonsense. It's like, you know, Canva design now or GoDaddy.com. By the way, I also want to throw this out there. What the fuck happened to GoDaddy.com? Guys, you may not be young enough to remember, but GoDaddy.com used to be a really kind of skeevy and horny website provider. They were advertising with like hot chicks in like basically a Hooters uniform, but GoDaddy branded. Now they're doing like showing off like a wide variety of creators of various ethnicities with kind of like what I believe marketing would call an urban feel. And I'm just like, what the fuck happened to you? Like, wow. Like, it makes me very jaded is what it does, because I'm like, I don't think you're actually woke. I think you just changed with the times. You just realized that marketing was different now.
Hey, you know what they say, fake it till you make it.
Yeah, I guess that's how it works, you know. But very occasionally I will get very real-ass ads, like, oh gosh, I don't remember, what was it? There was a weird first-person game that's coming out on Steam, I think, that was like, shit, what was it from? I'd have to remember if I see it again, I'll yell about it on like Twitter or something. But the other day I saw a fucking ad for a Dark Magician figurine. I was like, holy shit, this has never been more relevant in my life. In front of, I watched today's episode of Game Grumps. They're doing a Mario Party. There was an ad for Sonic Colors Ultimate, and I was like, holy shit, YouTube. That was you understand demographics. But like, there's a lot of weird stuff. I got a little off on my tangent. What were we talking about before? Gacha games, right?
Yeah.
Like in advertising, like it's really interesting to see how we get this integration for like what people think is popular. I don't get them so much anymore, probably because I stopped downloading them. But I did get plenty of ads for a while when it first launched for the Konosuba mobile game, which, like I said, I think I might want to try after we're done with Lotto Boxing. YouTube also did guilt me into playing Arknights for a while, and I could still play Arknights. I just, you know, I've let it sit for so long, I don't really feel like logging in.
Again, it's one of those things, like, I mean, I'm having this problem, unfortunately, with Azure Lane. Like, I haven't played it, like, in so long, and I have no big desire to go back to it. And
I mean, that's what I was like with Azure Lane, like, months ago. It's like, Azure Lane's cool, but, like, does it spark joy? Does it suck me in?
And, like, I'm
just kind of like,
yeah, no.
Like if you ask me, hey, in that case, you've stopped playing. Do you regret paying real money? No, not really.
Not really. It's like, no.
I didn't
like...
spend a shitload of money on the game, and I enjoyed it when it was out. Like it was fun. I liked the costumes and stuff. I like their aesthetics, but I'm just like, I just don't have time. But in terms of gacha, I would not mind trying the Konosuba game. That would be a hard commit. That would be one of those things where I'm like, okay, unless this game is really fucking good, I'm never spending money on it. You know. Similarly, I know some people talked up that the Mega Man gacha style game is apparently pretty cool. I might look into that. I haven't like seen hide nor hair of that. That's another thing with gacha is like some stuff just flies under the radar. Like there are quite a few games I would not know about unless we were part of this community. Like I don't think I've actually ever seen like Destiny's Child like ever plugged anywhere.
No. Well, the thing is, it's super horny on main. Like.
Yeah. I mean, that didn't necessarily stop Azure Lane, though I think, I gotta be real, if I remember correctly, Azure Lane's ad, well, actually, Arknight's, actually, probably Yostar in general. I think all of their ad campaigns were very cringy. So maybe that's it, but, like, not that much content. I might still poke it to see what it's like, and then if it's not got a lot of stuff to work through, I might just let it sit, you know? It's pretty new. Because, I mean, it's just, the beautiful thing about it, it's advertised just like, hey, it's like an old school JRPG, but with the Konosuba characters, and also you can gacha in it. I'm like, that seems neat. That's on brand. Like I said, I might scope it out. But yeah, some games are like so under the radar. Destiny's Child is very horny, so I could see why. That and just like, you know, different companies, countries, brand makers. I mean, I would be very interested if more people find out about it, because I suspect a lot of people are like, who the fuck are these Project Shift people, you know?
Yeah, the shit. Like, honestly, that's all I'm hoping. I'm hoping more people want to play Destiny's Child. Because while it is very horny on main, it's a very fun game and has a really good story. It's like, Jesus. Every time I think I'm going to get this, I'm going to drop this game, it's like, no, we're going to suck you back in. I'm just like, fuck.
So, yeah, it's always interesting. Like, there's so many games there. I think Final Fantasy has several, which I have never tried because I just haven't been sucked in. Though, I think it was one of the ones that's still like Japan only. One of them has like the Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced aesthetic. Like, I'll have to show these to Lucky. I was looking this up the other day because I was trying to dig up some images for something, but like, oh, okay. Actually, this is okay. So this art comes from Puzzle and Dragons. There's a crossover, I guess. But still, like, here, I'll show this to Lucky and Mon. Look at this fucking, like, this is like a Gria character that was, like, in a crossover with Puzzle and Dragons. And that's just, like, the normal Ultimate skin. There's also, like, a Christmas one, and I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Why do I feel personally attacked now? Yeah, it was Tactic S was it's an old, it was... It ran for like a year in like the early 2010s. But yeah, so like there's a lot of stuff going on out there. We will always continue to see if games catch our eye, and then, I mean, I don't want to feel too bad for some of these developers, but I think they understand that sometimes their player base is kind of like transient, right? Like rotates in and out, you know, and there's a lot of, especially with our community, there's a lot of fad-based play.
Oh yeah, like I've talked about it at length. I can't hang out in gacha games because there's like 3 just hardcore groups going in there all the fucking time. All the fucking time.
And these people suck in more people, you know. Like obviously Arknights is very big. We've got some dedicated people who even like go out of their way to talk about story stuff and post in spoiler chat, which I'm like, I appreciate, but also wow.
And we have a big Genshin, we have a big Arknight, the Taimanin.
It's a small group, but we've got some dedicated Taimanin fans. Which is also a game that's fucking out there. Also horny on main, but that's also because they're literally a porn franchise.
Yes.
Do not Google the name of that game with safe search off in a public place.
Do not.
You will be in danger. Black Lilith games are very extreme. I just tabbed over to see what they're talking about. I guess this was a news article I saw. I guess there's a fucking I got reincarnated as a slime gacha game coming to the list.
Oh yeah.
That's it's another one of those like weird license cash in things that I'm probably not going to be that interested in.
I'm pretty sure that Crunchyroll is paying for it or whatever.
Crunchyroll is shilled for a few games, yeah. Wait, how is that going to work with the Sony tie-in? Because that went through. I mean, we're going to see even more chilling for, like, Sony and Delightworks stuff with Crunchyroll?
Maybe?
Crunchyroll Extra, brought to you by Fake Red Order. They had fucking, rap ads and giant banner ads for the last AX that was physical. I would not be shocked. We do, FGO does spend ad dollars over here.
Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, yeah, actually. Now I'm just thinking about it. It's like they're all one big umbrella, so probably.
Yeah. And as we complained about slightly on WhatsApp, which you should go watch if you haven't already. Don't stop this, but pull it up so you can switch seamlessly. The video's doing okay, but it's not quite as explosive as that one where I made the joke about Mew being buffed in lotto boxes. Are you guys more into lotto boxes than into summer booty?
Maybe.
That's all. I mean, let's be real. Right now in NA, the answer is yes, unfortunately. We'll see what our next couple thumbnails can do for people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's interesting to see about that umbrella, and sometimes I feel like that umbrella stuff's not really firing on all cylinders. Somebody in chat's just like, yes.
But
well, I mean, you're honest at least.
Yeah.
I haven't really been watching a lot of new stuff. I have been jammed up this week. I've been working on our next Star Wars thing. It's still not done, but it'll be done by Sunday. Take it off in the afternoon. It involved working through a lot of complex game design questions. Because you guys picked your route last week. That video will go up tomorrow. I've lucky uploaded it, and I'm ready to schedule it for patrons after we're done with the live stream. But you guys did decide to charge ahead with your giant clone turbo tank, the Juggernaut.
Yep.
And then that presented Omega with many interesting game design questions of like, what are the stats on this thing? How do I actually interact with this object? Because scaling in Star Wars gets weird fast.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be real with y'all. I don't think your vehicle is ever going to be in danger in the context of this adventure of actually like losing all your hull trauma. Because you've got like 60 of it or something. And 5 armor. But we can probably do some scratch damage and maybe put some crits and make you guys have to pay some money or like pause for repairs or something, and then we can do other fun stuff. But like there were definitely me doing a lot of fucking math in my brain about how to make these things work out and how to make situations work out where like entities who are technically in personal scale and then can mount on vehicles or unmount can like interact with you guys on that same nebulous scale. Like, what do I do if you guys decide to like climb out the top of the tank and just yell at people or shoot at them? And we can work from there, open top and stuff. But it's kept me busy trying to jam all this design stuff and doing a lot of adversary design this week, as well as catching up on Lotto and working on handfuls of other stuff, stitching together videos, etc. Hey, go watch Progression. It was very funny this week. We had a lot of fun stuff happen. It involves me and Dallas in a match, and I'm saying, hey, look at us. Look how far we come. There's some interesting things in there, and I've done some updates. Actually, couldn't have talked about this last week. Some people requested that I add graphics package to show what all the players' decks are doing. Like, obviously, I actually record me, like, looking at my deck list, talking about my strategies and what I'm doing. So some people requested to look at the other players. So I do that now. If you haven't checked it out, you can follow along and see, like, what people are playing and how it works. And it gives me lovely Future Man jokes. I get to joke because the way the video is edited together later, the deck lists come before the matches, but I ask for them after everybody has completed their matches, so we don't know what their decks are as we play, so it's very funny. I get some quality jokes. So I haven't really caught up on any, like, watched any extra anime stuff. I have another thing going on, but it's all Red's fault. Damn her. She's on Twitter talking about how she's watching all of Avatar again, all the Last Airbender, and I was like, man, it's been a couple years since I watched all of Avatar. I'm way slower than she is. She's already like fucking done with the series. in like a week or two. But I've been while casually lotto farming and playing Zelda, I have been watching some Avatar: The Last Airbender as well. But I have a couple of anime news subjects to talk about.
Yeah, go for it.
Got some announcements. So first of all, Way of the House Husband Part 2 coming in October.
Excited.
New episodes October 7th. That'll be pretty rad. Second half of the first season, technically, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's their second release drop. It'll be good. Had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. Since I've already, I already bit the bullet and binged the whole first half, I'll probably watch it right away when it drops. I'm checking it on Netflix pretty frequently because I'm watching it there. But speaking of another Netflix anime release, they have come out and said that Stone Ocean will be a monthly release on Netflix. So not a simulcast week to week, but it sounds like they're going to drop new episodes every month, so probably 4 episodes a month until it's all done.
I mean, that's not the worst.
No. And also, interestingly enough, there's been a clarification. It will debut on Netflix early. The first 4 episodes or so probably will be shown on Netflix in December before it starts broadcasting on Japanese TV in January. So
Wild.
We will technically be getting the greater world will be getting the first few episodes before anybody else on Netflix, and then it will go to weekly Japanese TV broadcasts. And then with monthly releases, which is not the worst. I can probably, I don't want to say stomach, but I can probably handle watching JoJo 4 episodes at a time. That's usually how much you do in a single sitting anyway.
Yeah.
I think I talked before about how I would not necessarily be interested in watching a JoJo series week to week because, I mean, God, how many fucking 2-parters are there in JoJo? There's a lot. There's a lot. Once you get to part 3, it's like all the fucking time. If a story gets resolved in one episode, it's usually a joke episode. So yeah, that'll be pretty interesting to see. I think that's the first time Netflix has tried this particular model.
Oh yeah, and like I can't think of. I know there's sometimes where they do simultaneous releases or
they have done some simultaneous releases. They don't usually do that in the States, but they've done that for several locales.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, to me it really depends on the series. Like some series, I'm way more comfortable binging this. In fact, I might even just be in general be getting better at binging. I think I'm gonna catch up on a lot of the series. Like I have not been watching like New Slime or like Dragon Maid other than like the first episode. But gosh, my only problem is knowing when a core is over.
Oh, we got a
couple weeks left.
Yeah, we got like 3 weeks left. Like new core.
I'll probably. It's so much harder for me to like find like one space a week every week to watch something. Mm-hmm. You have free time because you can watch anime at work. I'm just like always at work, so it's a little weird. But I can definitely like block out a few hours and just binge when I'm not doing anything else. On my off days.
I mean, you say that, but I see our YouTube history. It's like
hey, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but I multitask with a lot of stuff. It's hard to do with anime subs. I also, if you see like a strings of music, which is probably the most obnoxious YouTube history thing, that usually means I'm working. Like the last binge where you see a shitload of JoJo music and Wood Kid was just me writing the Star Wars Adventure.
Yeah.
I was like, I need some work music. I'm gonna buckle down and do some stats and some stuff, some world building.
Where am I going? I'm lost eternally.
Also, I'll be real. JoJo soundtrack's amazing.
Yes, it is amazing.
High quality, super great stuff. I will throw out, hey, in case you missed it, because I mentioned it in the stream on Monday, I also finished part 5.
Yep.
Lucky, I'm going to assume, hasn't yet, so...
No, I really have nothing new to talk about anime. I'm just slowly working through it. I have not watched Hathaway yet. That is something I am being wanted to do because it looks really good. Did we do it? I think I mentioned this on fucking...
You mentioned it somewhere, because I also mentioned that it's in my Netflix queue as well, along 5 billion other things, but
Yeah, but...
The queue matters. It's there.
It's there. But, like, I can't really necessarily call myself, like, a huge Gundam fan, but, I like giant robots, and I like tense political drama with giant robots.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say it like I'm a hipster, but I feel like people might think I'm some kind of hipster mecha fan. I haven't really watched a lot of Gundam either. Like IBO, I think was the only series I've like watched all the time as it came out too.
Mm-hmm.
Like for that second season, I was like, damn, this is good. But I've watched a lot of other stuff. You know, a big fan of Code Geass, obviously. And both seasons, or both series, I should say, of Etika 7 left a big impression on me. So I also like the giant robots.
Mm-hmm.
And I am also among one of those people who is occasionally asking, like, hey, From Software, where's another Armored Core game? When are you guys going to do giant robots?
Yeah.
You're gonna do another dark European fantasy? Cool.
Cool.
Great. What if you apply this aesthetic to, like, giant robots, though?
Dark fantasy giant robots? That could be baller.
That could also be baller. That's just Eska floating, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will definitely probably want to binge a couple of this core of anime. And yeah, I also need to binge Shaman. I just haven't had the feeling to sit down and just eat a new anime yet. I'll get there though. Like I said, I actually really love Shaman. Very excited when they did that remake. Because Shaman King was one of those. It's kind of a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood situation. Shaman King was one of those manga that wasn't quite done by the time they started the anime, so they had to drift at some point, and they're not quite the same. And also, as is usual for a lot of stuff, if I remember rightly, because I own a couple volumes of the manga and have read parts of it, the manga takes darker turns in a couple of places.
Mm-hmm.
Though also Shaman King had a 4Kids dub, so like there was the heavy editing.
Just a heavy.
Which is ironic considering all the ghosts, but there was some everything.
Oh, let's see here. Probably next couple weeks, I'll probably actually be sitting down and looking at what's coming out. I know there's a few things coming out that I already want to watch, but
yeah,
got to see the full list. But no, Lucky's been just watching things as usual. Like I said, I'm actually slowed down with watching things at work a bit because I realized that well, I'm good at multitasking. It's not I can't do two things at 100%. I have to usually split it up in some fashion. So my work efficiency suffers a bit when I do it, so I gotta make sure to do it in moderation. Because if my numbers start getting weird, they're gonna start asking questions. I'm not supposed to be watching anime at work, but the way they have the rules, I can watch anime at work. So I'm just like, I don't want to do anything to necessarily tip them off, as it were.
You don't want to have to make it so that somebody has to make a new rule. You know?
But, so yeah, no, I'll probably be catching up with all of them, more stuff, over the week. Next you're on UA, you should go to bed. Go to bed. Sleep. Sleep is good. If someone tells you sleep...
Also, so the Shaman King manga also yes, sleep. I mean, like, I'm not going to talk shit. I was up late last night editing, but, like, I usually am for a reason. Often spend time sitting in the dark waiting for bars to finish so I can be like, fuck, I'm going to sleep. Bye.
If anyone tells you sleep is for the weak, be all like, well, I'm a fucking bitch, and take a nap. Sleep is good.
I mean, sleep is for the weak, but that's like a sleep is for the weak is like, you know, pain is just weakness leaving the body. That's like a pep talk for you when you're tired, but you really shouldn't go to sleep because you've got some shit to do, and it's your own fucking fault. So you suffer for your art, as it were. But no, actually, like, sleeping regularly is a good thing. It's very important. It's like good sleep cycles and well rest is key to, like, literally everything.
These shocky boys being shocky.
Like, I think it's...
Oh, they're literally called shell shockers.
That's adorable. But, like, I think that, like, sleep specialists have, like, tied good sleep schedules to, like, everything. Now, admittedly, that could just be that they're biased because they study sleep, so I don't know. But, like, good sleep cycles can't hurt. Also, we were switch conversation there, but somebody said in chat that apparently the Shaman King manga also took a break for a couple of years. That's probably also why there was some rift.
Ah.
Anyway, yeah, I'll catch up on that. Like I said, big fan. I'm a sucker for urban fantasy. And also, there were katana ghosts. What do you want from me? How old was I when that show came out? I think I was like, I had to be like somewhere in the like 8 to 10 range.
Nah, it was definitely... Oh, man, I'm just remembering. Do they actually still do Shonen Jump here in the U.S.?
I'm pretty sure they still do. Viz is still killing it.
Yeah, okay, they probably do.
They probably still do Shonen Jump.
Yeah, no, because when Shonen Jump first came out in the U.S., Shaman King was in it, and that's where I first read it.
Yep.
But I'm just having big thoughts. Big thoughts. But unfortunately,
I'm not entirely sure. I think it might be now it's like an online like simultranslate thing, maybe.
Probably.
I don't know if they physically released the blobs.
What is this? Probably not. So though, something I did want to bring up. A couple things from Twitter. First off, Mark Hamill's an animal. Apparently, this was trending for a while, but apparently someone told Mark Hamill that if he just tweets his names, he will get thousands of likes. Guess what? Mark Hamill tweeted his name. Last time I checked it was over 600K likes. It's just like, yep. Jesus, people.
It immediately came true. Also, it trended on Twitter.
Yeah, it was a little wild, a little too wild. Guys, calm down. It's just a name.
Well, the unfortunate thing was that the poor What's Happening Twitter guy had to context that, whoever that poor intern is.
Mm-hmm.
And once you realize that it's just like a meme thing fishing for likes, you're like, I want to be part of history.
Ugh.
Yeah, whatever.
But I think the thing that more important to my heart that happened on Twitter is that Nick Jr. actually had a Blue's Clues 25th anniversary thing, and they had a motherfucking message from Steve. Now,
the original Steve, I think, too.
The original Steve. And the thing that kills me is whenever Blue's Clues comes up in conversation, which it does, it comes up a surprisingly often amount of times the more I think about it. It's a little weird. But anytime Blue's Clues, everyone's just all like, it's like, I miss Steve. Steve was the best. How could he fucking leave? And apparently, Steve came on with a message about that and wanted to talk to us. And apparently, it gave so many people the fucking closure that they never fucking knew they needed in their goddamn life.
Damn.
No, people were just talking about, like how people were like, yeah, no, actually, now that I think about it, when I was a young kid, I was, like, super fucking upset that, like, Steve left, like, super fucking abruptly. And now that he's, like, came back and says, is like, that was really abrupt. But we're still fucking friends, you know? And they're like, I needed that. I fucking needed that. And, you know, there's been, like, a little bit of, like, talk here and there. And interestingly enough, one writer says, like, this whole kind of phenomenon doesn't say that we don't necessarily need reboots of old shows to, you know, sometimes we just need maybe some fucking closure on them, because that is definitely something that happens in media. Sometimes when something changes or actor has to change or like it's not doing well, shows just end. They just stop.
Yeah,
they just stop, and you're just like kind of just left, you know, holding.
If you're interested in this sort of thing, especially about the history of children's television, check out Defunctland TV. It's a sub show on the Defunctland channel.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Blue's Clues in some form is still ongoing, so he hasn't done a Blue's Clues episode, but he's talked about those sorts of things, like Bear in the Big Blue House, Between the Lions, you know, shit that our audience demographic will possibly remember from childhood, or not, you zygotes. But shit I remember from my childhood and a little bit earlier and after, too. You know, the kind of stuff where you're like, I don't care about this kids program anymore, but I know this is on. And he also did like a really big, long special about the history of all of Jim Henson's work, which is amazing and emotional. But, you know, yeah. And when you find out about why these shows ended, it's usually because, we released like 100 episodes. We're good for syndication. We're just going to make VHSs. And especially for children's educational television, we've covered all the topics we want to cover. We're done. You know? Which is like really weird. And you think about it in the context of like your current audience, but for your overall concept of like a lot of these shows are funded for the purposes of educating children and hitting certain milestones, you know, like Sesame Street obviously was made, you know, for very young kids originally to teach them like basic letters and numbers and shit. And like Between the Lions was literally designed in cooperation with some of the same guys to teach higher level reading skills.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, that's why it's set in a library and has all those, reading and pronunciation stuff. And once you hit a certain range of topics, like people are like, all right, let's go home.
We said everything we wanted to.
And if you think about it, that's kind of weird for kids because kids aren't prepared to understand that kind of thing. Like, and some of them might not even, like, if you're in syndication, you might not even notice. Like, I didn't realize some shows I watched were like that old. Like, I remember because of the meme music compilation, I realized that Bill Nye the Science Guy first came out the same year I was born.
But that shit was
which
on.
means I was not watching that when it first came out. But I watched it a lot later, thanks syndication.
Yeah, no, so it was just on for a long time.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like, so sometimes you don't even realize shit changes, but when it's like the Blue's Clues thing where, like, something obviously has changed, you do recasting or whatever, then that's weird. It's different, People aren't always prepared for that stuff.
Nope. And I think sometimes, like, that's something that probably needs to be followed up. And it's like, it's okay. It's like, you need to, like, especially kids, you need to teach kids maybe, things will change and you need to
that's
give them...
usually like a whole episode theme is like dealing with this kind of problem resolution. That's, what these shows are supposed to be about. And sometimes it's not.
No. But
I've also been wondering, like, what, you said earlier, Blue's Clues always comes up. I'm wondering why. I think it's because, like, a lot of children's television is partially educational or fully educational, so it's very, what you could call memey, but also might just call mnemonic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's very much designed to be remembered. Like, I brought up Between the Lines earlier. I'm remembering so many weird, dumb rhymes and shit that they did, or just, like, the theme song, because it was designed to teach language skills, so, hey, it's like being fucking brain hacked,
Oh, yeah.
And think about, like, Sesame Street. How much do you remember about, like, probably not the specifics, but you remember, like, character dynamics like Bert and Ernie. You probably remember what Big Bird sounds like still. You remember fucking count 1, 2, 3. Ah, ah, ah. Anytime you list some numbers, somebody will invariably do a weird vampire laugh at the end.
Yes, no, that is just how things work, yes.
Yeah, because it's a interesting cultural touchstone that television and media gives us. This kind of can tie back even to, like, talking about, like, spreading globalization and, like, interaction with like gacha and stuff. Like, as branding expands and we get more touchstones, we can actually, like, we get more touchstones we can interact with each other, so we can actually, like, call it together and be like, yeah, I remember that thing, I don't think I watched a lot of Blue's Clues as a kid, so the Steve thing doesn't hit me emotionally. Sorry, whiffed it. It's okay. Everybody has different experiences. But I still remember some, like, basic Blue's Clues stuff, like the male song, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some of this stuff just gets in there and you remember it.
For me, it's like, it sticks with me because I had younger brothers, and I would watch them.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, all of, like, Nick Jr. Was basically some of my younger brothers' like early mornings, and I would, because I was a good Barry brother, like I would watch it with them, I'd sing and dance for them. I can't do it now, but I used to know all the fucking Wiggle songs and dance. I used to know all of them.
Yeah.
I don't anymore. Don't ask. I'll end you.
And I think it, like, that kind of tracks with, like I said, I've been following this stuff because I love, like, documentary type and historical analysis stuff. So, like, following defunct TV on a lot of this stuff. And I realized through, like, some of these programs, right, where I'm like, oh, I just missed the window on this. Like, what was it? I think it was one of their early ones. Oh, yeah, it was, like episode 5 is, like, Wubulous World of Dr. Seuss, which was a Dr. Seuss puppet show. Produced, I believe, not too long after the Doctor... That was a little bit after the Doctor died, but his widow needed some money. So she did the old licensing. But, like, I whiffed that show entirely because it was aimed for a younger audience right about the time I was moving on from other stuff. As opposed to, like, I remember a little bit of Bear in the Big Blue House because that was, like, on Disney Channel at times. But, like, a couple of other early episodes, Zaboomafoo, fucking animals, all about it.
Oh, yeah,
wasn't
it the Kratt Brothers?
Yeah, the Kratt Brothers, who had several TV shows about animals. I think they might still. They got, like, an animated show they might still be fucking doing. Shout out to those guys. Like, all those like hosts and stuff. Also RMP, Steve Irwin.
Mm-hmm.
We remember. Remember a lot of that shit from a kid too. But like those guys who are all about like nature documentaries and animals and stuff and educational TV, who are still in the trenches, as it were. Like, shout out to you guys, keeping it real. But like I remember that deeply. Like, some of you guys may occasionally hear me humming the song from Zubufu. You know, who could it be? This animal that I did see. Can you help me guess this mystery? Like, whenever the phrase "who could it be" appears in my mind, I fill in the rest of the song. So yeah, there's a lot of really interesting stuff in there, and there's some stuff that obviously, like I said, watching this series, I just wasn't fucking born for. Like they talk about some, like when Disney Channel first started as a breakout like premium cable TV network, they didn't have shit. Like they did not have original programming yet, so they could just show like Disney movies, and they needed some shit to fill the airwaves fast. So they did a lot of like live action puppetry stuff. Pooh Corner, Adventures in Wonderland, stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't remember that at all.
I remember Adventures in Wonderland. It was wild. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah. I watched the defunct TV on it, but I'm like, yeah, I completely whiffed this because, by the time I was watching Disney Channel, it was like when my family first got cable in like the early 2000-ish era, and we were intermittent cord cutters. So my cable TV experience was very hit or miss. This is honestly probably why anime was so influential, because that was anime dubs were on like what network was 4Kids associated with? Was it WB?
No, it was it was WB. Yeah.
Yeah. WB and WB had their own original cartoons as well, but also Fox. So like no. X-Men Evolution, which is on Disney Plus now, because they bought Fox and Marvel and all that shit. It's wild. But yeah, that's so. There, some of the stuff you just miss out. But when we do have these moments that touch, right, where we all have this. Oh yeah, we watched this show about a giant bird or a giant bear, or a frog who's sad about being green.
Listen, I unironically love Bear in the Big Blue House, even if it was like. I think at that point, like this was still when I was like watching my younger brothers, but it was just like, yeah, no, this is good, this is comfy. It's like I like.
Well, I mean, like everybody check out that episode on Defunctland Produced if you're interested in this kind of thing. I believe if I remember that episode correctly, and I may or may not go binge this entire fucking playlist after this. I want to clock in some Zelda tonight, so I'll need something to do with my time.
Mm-hmm.
But if I remember correctly, Bear in the Big Blue House was deliberately designed to be watchable with your kids or younger siblings, like to teach like problem solving and social skills, but not in like a droning way.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, they were deliberately trying to avoid a problem lots of people had with Barney the dinosaur, which I even remember as a small child. When I was a kid, back when I was still going to public school, like before I was homeschooled, which is very young. That was through second grade. I was still in school. That was the hip thing. It was cool to be jaded about Barney the dinosaur.
Oh, yeah.
Because Barney was way too, like, touchy-feely, weirdly soft-spoken, Like, and parents didn't like it, apparently. And even some kids were like, what the fuck is this? So, like, I believe Bear in the Big Blue House was deliberately designed to be more approachable for all audiences, which I've always said that's the real way to do kids' TV and, like, kids' movies. Like, there's so much schlock out there that is just like, fuck, it's for kids. Nobody cares. No, kids care. First of all, some of us are pretty smart. We pick up on these things. Actually, you know what? That's probably what makes weird internet nerds is crappy kids movies that have obvious flaws, and smart kids are like, well, what the fuck was that? What happened there? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Probably not so many F-bombs, but maybe.
Maybe.
The internet. Listen, I knew about F-bombs since I was like 12, so... Well, yeah, I was one of those guys who was watching Red vs. Blue way too young and probably giving the Rooster Teeth guys heart attacks.
I watched... When did I start watching Red? I think it was like my first year of high school. I think. I don't remember.
Yeah, I tuned in to... I first caught wind of them somewhere in the late, like, season 4 or 5 before they started doing like miniseries and getting weird stuff. But before Resurrection and well before Mossy got on with them. But I was there when episode 100, which was their like first story arc finishing, was like brand like I watched that come out. And back in the day when video hosting was dog shit, I watched like the episodes that were on machinima.com, if you remember that website, people, on a fucking blip player, and I had to download new episodes because that's how Rooster Teeth used to work.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, so like, but kids are smarter than you let on. We've talked about this a lot. We're no longer children, but we don't always feel that old. And being approachable to kids are just tiny adults.
Mm-hmm.
Their brains aren't full of stuff yet. So they have, unless you're like a very young child, most kids have a lot of the same potential mentally as adults. It's just that they don't yet have the knowledge and experience they need to like figure shit out.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to like softball, and a lot of kids will pick up. Like I remember from being a child and also from like hearing discussion about things. Kids will pick up on the subtle stuff too. Like they're not idiots. Some stuff obviously goes over your head because you have no frame of reference, Yeah. But a lot of stuff you can pick up on, and so I think the real good way to make media that's approachable to kids is to just treat it as media that's approachable to everybody. Mm-hmm. Like it's not so adult, whether that's just like in your face, tits and ats, f-bombs, gore, whatever. That like you could be upsetting and a little traumatizing to your child audience. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super about like censorship, but I also admit that like, when I was a kid, different stuff freaked me out.
Yeah.
I found things scary as a kid more than I do as an adult, and yes, some of that's just psychological hardening, but
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is also just genuinely being more mature and being like, it's fake blood, doesn't matter. Oh, that dude got his arm ripped off. That's not real. Neat. Whereas a kid, you might be like, holy shit, that guy got his arm ripped off. That's so gross. However, will we live from this? It's so real. Because you don't fucking know. Like I talked about this when I talked about my thoughts on the She-Ra remake. Like, that's a show that is rated Y7, I believe, throughout. I've seen many memes because, especially in the last season, but even some of the earlier seasons, there's some freaky shit. There's, the usual mind control, bottomless pits. Quite a few people do some things with their bones they shouldn't be doing.
Ooh.
With some sound effects.
Ooh.
Nope, not right. Still Y7. Don't understand how ratings work, but like I said, it's a show you could show to your children because there's not a lot of overt violence. There's a little bit of blood, but for the most part, the heroes play by the hero rules. It's actually pointed out several times when some of the characters want to go a little more hardcore. The other ones are like, whoa, roll it back. We're the good guys. We can't do that. That's not okay. We can't commit war crimes. Meanwhile, Glimmer's just like, let me commit war crimes. I'm a rebel. Tired of your shit. I'm the really emotive friend. But like I said, there's some deep stuff in there and some really good character writing that probably will go over kids' heads, but it's still enjoyable to adults, as obvious by the fact that, like I said, I'm in my late 20s and I fucking love that show. It's great. We've been debating our watch party ethos a little bit. Lucky's talking about picking up like a Blu-ray or a DVD drive or a Blu-ray DVD drive.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some watch parties because you got plenty of DVDs. I've been trying to find some time with the lads to like squeak in. Like I did a test Sunday before our game to see if Discord will pick up my VLC media player because I have a DVD disc drive in my PC already. Blu-rays, I don't think it does natively. So if you guys want me to bust out my Blu-ray copies of Full Metal or Eureka 7 AO or whatever, that's not gonna work. I have a fucking Netflix app on my PC, though, so I can probably just also directly stream from Netflix. Maybe. I don't know. Some apps and stuff have, like, copy protection against streaming. I've talked about this before. Like, Crunchyroll has some kind of, like, extension that means you can't even, like, screen grab it. Like, the video player just shows up as a black screen, which is very annoying when you want to make memes.
Mm-hmm.
But like I tested it with my She-Ra DVDs, and I've been trying to find some time, but everybody's been busy for a little stuff, and I know you want to do some stuff with like Fate Blu-rays and DVDs you have.
Mm-hmm.
We would not mind sitting with some people and having a little fun. Probably not large groups, like maybe for patrons only, or even just like for me, I could see me doing it as like a time killer around, like with the Yu-Gi-Oh or the Secret Tabletop Cabal crew. But we're not averse to experimenting with this stuff, you know. Yeah, and maybe we could do like I know that it seems like HoloLive has been having a lot of success with watch-alongs.
Yeah,
you know, where just you stream your reactions and stuff to it, but you don't show the video. Obviously, you just have everybody sync up. So that could be pretty interesting. Not a stream, but I kind of did something like that a few years ago as a Christmas special. I basically did a riff track style commentary over the original Die Hard, a movie I love and watch all the time, every Christmas. Yes, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Don't listen to anybody else. It's about family and togetherness and stuff, and also shooting terrorists.
How American.
Yeah. But, like, that's the kind of thing that I think could be cool and interesting to get into a little bit more with, like, TV series or movies, because that's a big other backbone of the stuff we do, right? Obviously, you know, we're big in video games, and especially, like, FGO and making sure to at least pay a little bit of lip service to the greater mobile games, gacha games community, you know? We're still plugged in, even if we're not enthused about all games that come out anymore. It's okay. We're allowed to. Listen, if you guys want to throw stones, I remember how some of you treated what was that mecha game called again?
Which
I
one?
don't even remember. The mobile.
I remember it, but I can't think of the name to save my fucking life.
Was it Iron Eagle?
No, it was like Iron.
Iron was in the name. That game. It was in our community hardcore for like a month, and then it stopped. It wasn't just Lucky who stopped. All y'all stopped. I was there.
Iron Saga.
Before I muted Gaji. Iron Saga, yeah. So, like, everybody's done a little bit of we do a little bit of the taste test, and then we're just like, nah, it's not for me. I'm not interested. But yeah, we could expand into, like, a little bit more of the TV and movies type stuff, you know? People like that stuff. We like those things. We can have some fun. And people seem to like doing those sorts of things, you know, kind of watching along, seeing stuff. We'll experiment some stuff. Let's figure some things out. Currently, our stream schedule, I think we can safely say, is still Bloodstained for at least another couple of sessions. You think, Lucky?
Yeah, no, I've been working on the grind. I think I should be able to immediately go to the bosses when we start up on Monday.
All right, that's good. So that'll be Monday the 13th.
And then probably maybe one or two sets. Like we'll be done by the time September's over. I can say that pretty confidently.
Yeah. And if Lucky like finishes a little early because Alan Wake doesn't come out until like the second week of October technically. Like we'll miss the first Monday. We'll come up with some other rando fill-in stuff. I can always like poke the PlayStation Plus collection, or we can come up with some other nonsense. We'll figure some shit out.
Yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
But...
So long as neither of us is having horrible internet or technical like audio plug-in problems, our co-op system, especially on like PS5 screen sharing, works out pretty good because we can basically follow each other along like live, so our commentary is up to date. And actually, like, talk about the game or not talk about the game. Sometimes we're just, like, randomly talking about other stuff, filling time. Because occasionally, video games require you to use your brain.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had a little bit of that problem earlier today as I'm trying to listen to Omega and talk, but I'm getting my ass kicked by a boss. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I hope I don't have that fucking problem. LAN cable is connected. LAN cable is not connected. What does that even mean?
Yeah, I get that error sometimes as well. I don't know what the fuck it means, because my LAN cable's not fucking moving.
No.
Like, yes, I do have an Ethernet port in the back, but let me tell you, that cable has not moved, and trust me, I'm in Florida. We are seismically stable.
I mean, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, but at the same time, It might be. Maybe I need to reset the router. Maybe.
It might be. Who knows with these things? Internet stuff is weird. You're getting a lot though, which is unusual.
Yeah, no, that's. Well, this is what happens. Like this is the same thing that happens occasionally when like I'm streaming with you or whatnot. It just happens, and it's like, nope, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dying. I'm dead. Goodbye.
Yeah.
So
and obviously on my end, I have my own unique problems. My internet here is brought to you by the wonderful Spectrum company, which I know many people have opinions on. And occasionally the internet's just dog shit for like 5 minutes or an hour, and then it goes back to normal. Not really sure why. Still kind of live in the, I mean, not quite the middle of nowhere. There's a little, like, shopping center, Highway Junction, not too far from here.
Oh,
but,
you're in one of those areas.
Yeah, large stretches of Florida are all that. It's just like, hey, we have major highways, and then if you go off from the major highways, you're literally in the woods in little housing.
Yeah.
Once again, in a little housing development in the middle of the woods. There's a golf course country club a stone's throw from here.
Of course there is.
Yeah, that's how it works.
No, I've lived in a couple of those areas.
Yeah. This one's actually this place has a I don't think I've talked about this, but it is relevant because I order a lot of things online. This place has a thing I have never experienced before. A place kinda. We do have, there are a couple of lots around here that are not in use. So we've got some like. This is the great thing about Central Florida is like, it's the growth is so thick that you can tell where property lines end because that's the moment somebody stopped giving a fuck about trimming it back, and it is just basically jungle. It's the fucking woods. But no, this current little like housing area I live in has this development has a thing that I've never had before, which is we don't have like mailboxes. There's just communal post boxes. For our whole neighborhood, which is something I've never had before.
Interesting.
So when you want to go check the mail, if it's not so large a package that they can't possibly fit it in the boxes with that they can deliver to your front door. But if it's a small envelope that'll fit in a post box, they jam it in your post box, and then they have slightly larger lockers. If it's slightly too large for your post box, but not so large that we can't fit it in a post box, we'll put it in the locker. We'll put the locker key in your post box. And then you get the locker key, you put it. It's a whole thing. It's not great at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon when you want to go check your mail and it's fucking 90 degrees, but whatever. It's good exercise. And I don't obviously have to check my own mail every day because I live with my parents and we alternate checking mail as things goes on. But occasionally it's like, all right, gotta go check the mail. Open the door. Fuck, it's hot out here.
The sun is a deadly laser.
No. The sun is a deadly laser. And then what's supposed to happen after that is, never mind, now there's a blanket. But I don't think the ozone layer is doing so good these days. Don't feel like it. That's for sure.
It's hot.
I suppose it would be worse without an ozone layer, but it's sure don't feel like it. Also, once again, that is a joke from History of the World, I guess. Full of jingles.
You should. It's informative and entertaining, which is the best.
Yeah.
But let's see. So the only thing I left to have on my thing is, do you want to bring up Epic versus Apple, the thrilling conclusion?
Sure. Yeah, we'll round out our video game talk, and I got another moving pictures type thing to bring up as well, because there was another type of trailer that came out this week. It's very intriguing concept. But yeah, so after was it like a full year, 2 years?
It's been like a year.
Yeah. Apple and Epic Games lawsuit has been settled by the courts of law.
And
in a very interesting decision.
Yeah, no. Basically what has happened is Epic has basically taken Apple to court. Or no, was it the other? Yeah, it basically took Apple to court saying that their fucking contracts were bullshit and they're not going to fucking pay them. And Apple is all like, you signed the fucking contract. Pay them.
Yeah, so basically this whole thing started because your favorite app stores, Google Play and Apple both, charge commission fees on microtransactions and in-app purchase and all that stuff.
Yes.
So like when you buy a St. Courts for 99 cents, Delightworks does not get all of that 99 cents. At least on Apple, I think it was like 30% fees or something.
It was something.
Typical bullshit where it's like, okay, it's a lot, it's not like so much that you like really shake your fist, but you're like, that's a decent percentage. That goes to the App Store as a commission, and that is all in your contracts for like being on the App Store and stuff. This case was about not only that, but also the ability to get pay from outside areas, because what Epic did was just they built a second like through line, a second like payment process where you could just buy what do they call it? V-Bucks, Z-Bucks, whatever it is. Buy your fucking Fortnite funny money through them directly and just skip the App Store and Google function or Apple Pay or whatever. And so it was the same price for the consumer, but it was without fees for them, so they got to make the money directly. And then Apple was like, hold on, you can't do that. We're going to remove you from our store. And Epic was like, do it, you bitch. And then it became a lawsuit.
Yeah. But they finally reached a conclusion. And turns out both of them lost.
Functionally, yeah. That's basically how this worked out.
Yeah. Because basically, the Supreme Court, I think they went all the way up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said Epic Games, you can't just not pay your contracts. It's a contract. It's written. You got to follow it. And so Epic basically has to pay a certain amount of percentage of revenue to Apple. I think the total came out to be like $3 to $4 million. Just like for the past year. But in the same breath, they're like, but Apple, while you're not in actually any violation of like any antitrust laws or whatever, the shit is bullshit and very scumbag.
Yes. It's basically like the split ruling. It was a federal court. I don't think it went all the way to the Supreme Court because they only hear like six cases a year or whatever. But yeah, it went to federal court, so it got pretty up there. Went through multiple appeals, and it was what was called a split decision, which can happen in civil trials. A lot of people's understanding of the trial process is slightly tainted by TV and movies and stuff, because that's all criminal trials, which are a whole different bag. But like, basically what the judge said was like, okay, Epic, you in fact violated your contract. You're on the hook for all the money you should have paid Apple for all your fees. And then, like you said, then they turned to Apple and said, so while your processes aren't illegal, we do find that you're not strictly illegal, like not like legally liable, but they're like, we do find that your blocking of Epic from starting a secondary payment process to be anti-competitive and not okay. So don't do that anymore either. So like you said, I think they had like a couple $1 million of fees Epic had to pay. But the projection on the amount of money that Apple could lose if everybody went like fully independent, which I suspect not everybody will, obviously, right?
Right.
Because it's probably simpler to just, produce your mobile game shovelware and have Apple take their 30% cut,
Yeah.
But big companies who make big profit will probably like route you through other payment options, and they will be able to make more money, and Apple could lose billions. Yeah. Now, obviously, there will be appeals, probably from both sides. Like, Epic's probably going to be like, hey, if you said this is anti-competitive, why we got to pay the money? And Apple will be like, hey, wait a minute. That's our money. Don't do that. Stop it. No. We will see how it goes out. Appeals obviously can happen, but if this gets locked in, this sets precedent for a lot of this sort of thing. And this is the slightly unfortunate but usually very steady thing about the way the law works, especially in terms of civil law, is once you have precedent, that's it. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, people are not usually eager to set precedent. Once you set precedent, like, literally for decades, people will be going back. Well, so in Epic v. Apple, the decision was that this, and this, but also this. And that will be the foundation for, like, so many more cases. Like, speaking of Supreme Court stuff, like, this is the basis for a lot of things going on right now. Like, a lot of people are worried about or maybe hopeful for a challenge of, like, the Roe v. Wade result, which has been in place for a long time. But there's still, like, the whole, like, weird tech. I don't want to get in there because it's very serious, but also it's very dumb. It's very dumb. What the fuck, Texas governor? What the fuck? Who is this movie? Not that I can say any better. The Florida governor's been a bit of a mook this year as well. But like the precedent still exists, and it's very unlikely to change unless it goes all the way to the top. And even then, you're very likely that like several Supreme Court decisions have basically been like, yeah, we're not going to bother hearing this on the basis of this is within the precedent of this thing. It's not a case. Goodbye. And so it goes. Like this is a thing. Court processes don't usually go that high. There are some that are directly appealed to the Supreme Court, but usually it's a process of like, when you appeal, you try to go to a higher court usually, because you argue that the jurisdiction is valid or whatever, and it should actually be here, and stakes go up. You hope for like a bigger picture look at it. But those appeals are not required, so you can totally get incidences of like, no, this isn't in our purview. This is settled by this thing. Book closed. Not doing it. Goodbye. And that precedent has been hypothetically established for app stores. I do know that was it no, it was Korea, I think. It was somewhere in Asia, wasn't it? That was saying that they don't want app stores to be taking commission fees. I think the EU might also have done it. So it does kind of look like these app stores are getting their noses bloodied a little. People are being like, hey, you guys are like running a fucking monopoly here. It's not fair that you lock your service providers into this network where they can't leave, Which is true. It's very non-competitive. And like, say what you will about like morality of like capitalism and anything, like that is like everything. There's an ideal for how stuff is supposed to work. Free market is how this is supposed to work. Like you're supposed to be able to make informed business decisions at all angles. Obviously, that's not how everything works in reality. But the other sides of things, like look at how many regimes were supposed to be socialist or communist, and we're not necessarily functioning correctly either. Like humans fuck up the principles.
Yes.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting to see, and we've definitely seen some of these angles. Like I know that there have been bills introduced about this kind of thing as well. Like it's a thing that's kind of in our political sphere, and I honestly think it's probably better for business if app developers can like figure out their own monetization streams and can get more of their income directly to them. Because obviously functions like, well, Google, for instance, Google has an ad integration program. They're never not going to have that as a revenue stream. They're going to plaster Google banner ads, which they will sell all over the App Store. I'm sure Apple has a similar integration. Alternatively, Apple will just make their money by charging you several hundred more dollars than their iPhone costs to make and is worth. Because they... I heard this great phrasing of a lot of Apple's business strategy is Apple outsourced their production overseas but did not change their prices, so you still pay the same money you would for Apple products as if it were made in America, only they're still made in like Myanmar and shit. If they're being made anywhere, still a semiconductor shortage.
Yeah, also true.
That's why people don't have PS5s. Though apparently PS5 did pass 1 million units in Japan.
They're working on it.
They're making as many as they possibly can. I think I said this before with like Sony's design strategy. Like Sony's probably just going to slow play and just make baller first party titles. You're probably not going to see a lot of like updates to like services and other shit until they can actually like until people can choose not to buy PS5s. Like right now, it's so competitive. Literally, they can't give all the PS5s to people they want them. They don't need to worry about market share. Once they do need to worry about market share, that's probably when you'll see PlayStation try and come up with like a proper competitor to Game Pass and shit. But yeah, precedents out there. It's going to be interesting to see how things shake out.
Yeah, we live in interesting times, folks.
Yeah, that's almost always true. But I think for the kind of industries that our audience are hooked into and want to hear about, yeah, we've got a couple of interesting things shaking down. There's kind of another weird... I don't know if you've seen this. Probably not, because I haven't seen it as like a trending. I've just seen a couple of people like retweeting it as a meme. But apparently there's a thing with, I think, the new like NBA 2K game, where you, like, in character in like your story mode or whatever, you like walk down the street and run into like the fucking State Farm guy from State Farm commercial. And like he gives you a whole spiel about State Farm. That's how advanced our marketing integration is. There's a fucking like diegetic State Farm ad in 2K now. And I'm just like, this is wild.
I'm not necessarily against that.
It's very memey. Like, it's ludicrous to watch the clips. But also, I'm like, I mean, that's not... Have you ever seen sports? That's not that weird. I'm pretty sure State Farm owns at least one arena somewhere. I'm not sure where it is, but I'm reasonably certain there is a State Farm arena. They probably sponsor a college bowl game. Like, it's
sponsored by
how
State
things
Farm.
is.
Yep.
It's just the presentation is fucking hilarious. Like, you're walking down the street and you're like, oh shit, are you Jake from State Farm? And he's like, yeah, what's up? You want to talk about State Farm? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Like, this is like a video game cutscene. This is a weird... Is this real? Am I living real life right now? Speaking of am I living real life right now, though, I think the last thing I really wanted to talk about... holy shit, they released a trailer for Matrix Resurrections this week.
Of course it's called Resurrection, though. Fuck.
I mean, that's very on point.
I know.
It's so metaphorical. Lucky, have you seen this trailer?
I have not, actually. I've been meaning to watch it.
You should. In fact, if you want to like pull it up on something right now, that might be relevant.
I might.
Speaking of high-quality trailers, though, this is incredibly on point. The trailer song used is White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane, I believe. Very classic. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
One pill makes you larger, one pill makes you small. Like, and just like, that's just the tone we're setting with this fucking trailer. Little blue pills are everywhere. It's a metaphor or something. Well, I mean, the trailer literally starts with Keanu Reeves, you know, going by his old school Matrix alias, Thomas Anderson, in therapy. And presumably where he is, you know, nomming on blue pills like antidepressants. There's a lot of thematic metaphors here in this trailer. At one point, he's like standing alone in an elevator while everybody else has their face in a screen and like headphones on, and I'm just like, correct. But like, it's so interesting to like watch this trailer. First of all, VFX looks sick. So like, I think I mentioned this in our moving pictures chat. I'm pretty sure that once again, a Matrix movie is probably going to define the visual effects industry for probably another decade or two. Like the original Matrix did so much for like, you know, bullet time effects and certain photography effects, lots of different kinds of like, stunts and gunplay stuff. Like arguably even the later movies, which had kind of the crappy full body CGI, like all of you remember the jank CGI from the Burly Brawl.
Mm-hmm.
Memes to death. But like that pushed for other advancements in that. And I don't actually know how popular like wuxia style wire work was before the Matrix as well. The Matrix is very reliant on that too. And this trailer includes all new kinds of like visual tricks and like super actions and stuff. It also looks like part of the point seems to be that like, you know, somehow Neo is like, first of all, it's Keanu Reeves, so you know he looks the same but doesn't look the same. He's definitely rocking his like John Wick style look, like he's you know permanent 5 o'clock shadow, long hair, you know, down to his shoulders kind of thing. Looks great. You know, Carrie-Anne Moss is in it too. She's in the trailer. I don't know if she's actually herself as Trinity or not, but maybe, probably.
Maybe she's a flashback. I don't know.
Something like that. They do like interact in the quote unquote current times, maybe, but. So, Lucky, I'll say one thing very interesting about this trailer is it kind of uses some of the color theming that the original Matrix does, but it's not quite the same. Like, if everybody remembers, the original Matrix movies, you knew you were in the Matrix because everything was fucking green.
Yep.
This trailer doesn't do that. There's a lot of emphasis on blue light, but it's not omnipresent. So, like, what's real and what's not is a lot more wiggle roomy now. So... You know it's a Matrix film. You know there's some fucking digital world shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's all like... I feel like we're getting, like, I almost want to say, if that's the thing, it feels like some weird... I don't want necessarily Inception kind of shit, but it's like, we're in a program, looking in programs. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, a lot of people have wondered... Well, first of all, a big question is any of that shit from the Matrix Online real? We don't know. It could be canon or it could be not. They did actually do some interesting post-script stuff and trying to like kind of explain some of the bullshit. Like, okay, the first Matrix, phenomenal movie. Movie of the century. Did so much. The sequels, much more eh. They got a lot more like esoteric and philosophical, which lost a lot of people. Like as an adult, the first Matrix movie came out in '99, so I was what, like 7 or 8. So like a lot of that shit went over my head. In those later sequels. But like now as an adult, like thinking about all that commentary on like free will and self-determination versus like predestination and shit, and Neo's whole deal of like self-actualization and like the end of the movie where he like once again destroys Agent Smith by becoming Agent Smith, kind of a thing. It's all very deep and very, very key to the like kind of Eastern philosophy. A lot of the movies tapped into, kind of a thing. Reminds me of kind of like later seasons of Korra, for instance, which also got really big on a lot of those like self-development, self-actualization, understanding your enemy to defeat your enemy type themes, which I've always really liked. But like, there was a lot of esoteric shit in the Matrix sequels. I even remember, I never played it, but I remember people talked about it in the game Path of Neo, which basically you play all of Neo's story, right?
Right.
The game ends with a boss fight where a giant like Robo-Smith comes out and you punch him. Why? Well, the Wachowskis actually show the fuck up on screen and explain, okay, so like there's this whole like Nirvana Zen shit that why Neo does the thing in the movie, but that's not fun for a video game, so you punch Giant Smith instead. And I'm like, holy shit, wow, they get it.
Yeah.
Like these people understand what's up. So like I think that there can be some very interesting storytelling and stuff. There's some very cute keys of like is this new bald black dude like a new Morpheus? Because remember, your appearance in the Matrix doesn't have to be your real appearance, Well, Axe, you've missed like the entire show. Jeez, we're 2 hours and 40 minutes in.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Matrix Resurrections now. Yeah, we're probably winding down. My voice is starting to get kind of scratchy. But like, so there's a lot of like this trailer shows you so much, and you see so much of this visual style, and you're like, I'm in. This looks sick. They are not subtle about the fact that Neo is probably still the one and has his fucking mind hack powers. And they are way more open about showing it. Like in the trailer, he like does the bullet stop trick from like, the end of the first one. Well, I don't know about that problem, Max. You're gonna have that whole problem if you watch this. You may want to. You're a patron. You can download the audio later. Lucky, if you've tuned into the live stream late, which I know some people have, our concurrent viewers have been steadily ticking up. Lucky was very open at the start of this, where he's just like, "Nah, full beans, plain her eyes." Spoilers. By the way, I find this cutscene style very interesting to talk about it, like where they do these kind of like almost like manga panel cut-ins.
Well, yeah, no. Tales games are interesting because they actually feature a lot, and I mean a lot of character dialogue. But a lot of it can just be accessed by something they usually call skits, which is basically you take like you hit a button and you just pause in your gameplay as two characters will talk to each other for a while.
Nice.
Like, and they have.
I have also noticed they've got the little they do the little speech bubbles in like the bottom corner, like you see a face in the subtitles, so you can track all the dialogue. That's cool.
Yeah, no, like, and Tales games always has a lot. Actually, hang on, because I'm pretty sure the number is in the fucking number. Let me see here. Is it in here? Skits, yeah. Yeah, this game by itself has 320 skits, which is basically 320 instances of characters just talking to each other about stuff that's not even really important to the game, just stuff. So this is one of the reasons why I really like Tales games, because they go into a lot of detail in exploring characters' relations with things and each other. But yeah, The Matrix. I'm definitely gonna have to watch that trailer at some point.
Yeah, like I said, I've got it going on. It's pretty sick. Like I said, they use fuck, I said the name of the song, but then I lost it.
White Rabbit.
White Rabbit. Yeah. Because that was a theme in the first one. It calling it Resurrections, it very much looks like it's an attempt to like we're trying to like rebuild the mystique and the feeling of one, but also we're self-aware enough to know that right? Because like I said, they are not shy about showing Neo doing some one bullshit in the trailer. Like he does basically like a fucking Hadoken shockwave thing. Like he throws some people. In like the very end of the trailer, there's a climactic scene of him like redirecting an RPG round with his mind, like a helicopter rocket shoots at him, and he fucking catches it with his mind and throws it into another helicopter. Like
I do need to see this. Unfortunately,
yeah, this visual style is like that. The movie is going to be worth it to watch alone just for the visual effects.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I got a little turned away because someone told me about another Keanu Reeves filming that I didn't know about. Knock Knock. Yeah, it's an erotic thriller where Keanu Reeves gets raped by 2 women. So it was just I was a little So
Keanu Reeves will do anything.
Yeah.
But also, I will say, again, visual style, they're not just doing, like, it's also not just Neo doing, like, they have a lot more stuff for all the ancillary characters. Like, you see a lot of people doing more of the wire work stunts and, like, playing up the, like, you can be stronger, faster kind of a thing, you know, doing sick jumps, flips, running along walls, you know. The kind of thing that you guys can do with 20 years of fucking technology.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go. Like, I'm not gonna, like, we're running down. I'll do it as soon as we're done with this. But yeah, I'll definitely go watch it.
It's a cool trailer, like I said. And this is one of the things, along with, like, you know, the Baby Metal thing with Borderlands and several other trailers. You know, I was like, can we just appreciate how fucking trailer music is, like, on point these days?
They're putting in an effort.
Yeah, people actually, like, try and find good songs, and I also think there may be a slight thing that maybe song companies are less assholes and you can actually get good music.
Probably don't have to pay exorbitant fees, you know, to get the licensing or whatever.
Yeah, like, obviously there's, you know, copyright and streaming stuff that you got to worry about for certain things, but, like, yeah, this is pretty... It looks like it will be interesting and do stuff. I'm actually kind of curious how it will go, because it comes out around Christmas time. I don't know if we have a movie theater near us, but I have talked about how before, like, usually for my birthday, we'll go out and see a movie and get some junk food with the fam. My parents, and especially my dad, are big fans of The Matrix, like, originally. I think, like, The Matrix was, like, one of the first DVDs we bought when we bought a DVD player. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff. So, like, I'm very interested if they... I should actually bring it up next time I talk to them. If either of them even knows this trailer exists and if they've seen it. Because that's the... like, they're online for, like, work and stuff sometimes, you know, some social media stuff. But, like, I don't know if they're, like, seeing news that, like, holy shit, trailers, you know, that aren't on TV yet. But, like, I don't know if that might be, like, we would actually bust out to a theater and go see it. It's like our one movie a year, because everybody in my family's, you know, vaccinated, so I ain't afraid of no movie theater. And, you know, Christmas time movie. And, yeah, like, everything about this seems so on the nose. Like, it's called Matrix Resurrections. They're playing up the red pill, like, there's literally the red pill, blue pill scene kind of in there. And it's like it's the bald guy who may or may not be a new Morpheus, like, holding up a pill. And he's like, he just holds up the red pill and he's like, time to fly, man. There's a lot of mirror imagery and, like, walking through mirrors and shit in this. It looks pretty good. It literally ends with a shot of, like, Neo sat down in a business room with, like, some rando in a suit, and he's like, man, I can't believe we're going back to where it all started. The Matrix, damn. And then the trailer ends, and you're like, you guys know what you're doing. This movie seems like it was made with self-awareness, which is a good quality to have.
Oh, I think so as well.
I would not want to unironically make a Matrix sequel these days. That would, like, you would need self-awareness, because if you go too much like, we're going to do something new and fresh and nobody knows, that's not going to work, you know? So that'll be pretty interesting to see where this goes. And to catch up with everything and see how it goes. Like I said, I have no idea how it will work out narratively. I do believe that, like I said, the visual effects will be worth it alone, and you will probably be seeing people aping this visual style for decades to come.
Yeah, no, I got nothing else to talk about this week, my dude. We went through all my notes.
Damn. Good. we had a big long breakdown of the PlayStation Showcase. Lots of good games there. Well, I'm sure we'll have more news as the week comes out. Let's see. Can we faff around for 10 more minutes and make this 3 hours?
We probably can.
I mean, we could. We had a bit of a planning session, but I am kind of. If you guys want to talk about, well, you guys, Axe is here. I don't think Loth is listening right now. Martha may or may not be here.
May or may not.
But if you, Lucky, and maybe Axe in chat want to talk a little about Star Wars, we did actually game this weekend.
Actually, yeah, I guess I do want to talk a little bit because I did. Because now that I think about it, there was something I wanted to mention a little bit. Because I talked a bit about it at the end of the episode. So in the latest episode, what's the word I want to say? I don't want to necessarily say. Some characters made some decision. I can definitely say Arama made some decisions about her character and her play style. And like what she is going to do in her life. But the problem is whoops. Okay, come on. There we go, I did it. The problem is I now understand why exposition is a fucking thing in storytelling. I think is the best way to say this now.
Yeah.
Because I have backstory and secrets and gems and all those like little details for Arama and how she works. But unfortunately, if no one asks questions, if no one pursues it without me, holding their hand and telling them to, I find it hard to kind of guide players into, exploring those things. And so sometimes you just be...
Well, I will also say, the non-lucky players are just reactive lumps who kind of sit there until story pokes them. Full offense. Jokingly. But like you have literally tried to get the other players in character to engage with your backstory, and it has only worked some of the time.
Yeah. But like at this point, it's just like I want to get these details out because it's my personal opinion that if you can't bring up a detail in fucking play, that detail doesn't fucking matter. It's one of those things of like, if it doesn't interact with the story at all, and whatnot, then and
it's kind of an extension of almost like the show don't tell thing,
yeah.
Right? Like if you would just exposition dump, then that's not necessarily the best way to do that. You should be able to do that better.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can't. Like you talk about at the end of the session, you had some out of character talk with people. Like you didn't mince on details, but you're like, no, I have like whole backstory reasons for why like I'm doing X and I'm doing this thing and why I've been acting this way. And I kind of played off of that as I was like, yeah, and there's actually like deeper connections to Aramore's backstory into why this story is structured this way, into why maybe things haven't been working.
Yeah, so it's just like, but like,
hey guys, in case you don't know this as the audience, which you might not, because while we haven't been super, we have lots of out of character slices while still on mic, but and we dissecting what's up as well. There's actually like a lot. As much as there's like this greater meta conflict of the Clone Wars, there's also a lot of direct personal conflict going on in here that's very like in the backdrop.
Yeah. Like for Arama, it's like her conflict with, fighting this fucking war and being a Jedi during it and how she's like coming to grips with the Jedi Order in this war. It's like this whole...
And also, like... I can say it because like I don't think it's gonna come out directly. Also, there are like direct interpersonal conflicts. Like literally elements of your backstory are part of the current story and will come up into literal direct confrontation.
Yes. So it's like it's gonna be like everything's coming to a head, but at the same time, it's like I've just been kind of sitting on these things, and I feel like I'm just like You
wanna bring the details out. You have the details. You want to show them off, but you can't find the best place to bring them to a head.
So, like sometimes I'm like I've been like trying to wonder. It's like how do I like do this? Like, cause I've been thinking like we've entered like Act 3. I want to say of the Star Wars game. Yeah. We're not at the end, but we're in the
you're in the climb to the climax.
Yeah. So like, and I know we're probably not gonna immediately go to Gensakai. We'll probably do some one shots, like maybe get some more. What was the fucking?
And actually, I'm debating if after we finish our current run, because I've got I have to put on my like military thinking cap and plan out some like routes. We might even take like a week break and do the second adventure of the Sprawl.
Oh, okay. I mean, I do like the Sprawl. Oh yeah, because you gotta like come up with a new 3 and whatnot.
Yeah. I've got my rough outline for 3. Are you excited about Legend of the Five Rings? Have I had time to write that? No.
Remember,
finish writing that.
Gensakai is gonna be we kind of do our own adventure. We go think Omega says okay, we go and it's like, but Omega actually has like a full adventure he kind of wants to do. So
like for L5R, that's like I am literally writing a like classic style long form campaign that hits on all the like themes and locations and other shit I want to do. And like I know where it's all going. I've had the skeleton of the campaign forever. It's just it's one of those things you need to sit and write, and I have not been in the mood for that lately. I've been obviously not a lot this last week because like I finished the big fluff dump on Pork. I need to still do their adversaries before I move on to some of the sketching out some of the light NPC stuff. That'll be helpful before we actually get to the desk. But that'll probably be pretty gradual as I like feel like writing some of that rather than being like, no, I sketched out, I did these things, I need to work through, But like, yeah, so taking some sprawl breaks or some other stuff could work in there. But yeah, I need for the next step after we complete like a couple of ideas I had. Like I said, I have the idea, and I'm thinking it will be kind of like usual military campaign stuff. Like you'll be lined up with these options, and guys will have to choose like how and when you want to advance on these points, and these will form like links in the chain to go to the enemy base. You won't be able to attack the enemy base until you've cleared all the chains, because otherwise, it'll be a whole big clusterfuck like you do. But I will need to actually like think about like how these things connect and like be ready to like write these different elements, because I obviously you guys can't do literally 3 things at once. Or you possibly could, but holy shit, that would be really, really slow. Like imagine if like Arama stayed at base and you sent each one single PC to take care of each problem at once. Ugh. That would be gross. There would be so much like hard cuts and switching and people not doing anything. That's good for TV. That's not good for role-playing games. Like, I'm not necessarily afraid, quote unquote, afraid of splitting the party. Some people are like, hey, don't be afraid to do that. But like, it makes everything so much more tedious if you want to give players the proper amount of screen time. And we're playing digitally. It's not like my other players can like go play like, Hands of Uno or something in another room, right? It's like they're either here or they're not fucking here, basically. Like I know Lucky sometimes, farms 14 and other stuff in there, but like it's not quite the same, if you want everybody's attention all the time and you're gonna rotate. But yeah, like you were saying, it's like you could do the obvious thing of just like run in and be like, wait, before we go any further, I need to explain to you my complex backstory. But that's really ham-fisted and kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And we've done a little bit of those info dumps, and it really is kind of a slow process. Like, I know that in character prompt stuff that I'm like, like between like say, I believe it was between Boots and Wevu, like they had kind of like long character discussions that involved different elements of like Wevu's backstory and stuff, which was kind of slow paced because people kind of talked back and forth. But also that was explicitly just those 2 characters sitting alone at watch, so it like even role playing wise, like it wouldn't make any sense for like Camo or Arama to bring up that conversation because they were fucking asleep. Which leads to its own further problems. Oh, I'm sure we'll figure it out, especially now that we've shamed people on mic. We'll work on some stuff, and who knows? This adventure is going to be kind of interesting. Like, a lot of my notes on like locations and stuff are very short, almost vignette-like. Like, okay, tone setting set box. You need to do these couple of basic checks to like not break your shins, and if you want to like keep an eye out for dangers, do this thing, I've got some slight randomization for weather, rather than be set all the time. So you might have additional complications that kind of change zone to zone. And then I just have simple notes of like, and if they do okay, maybe some positive encounters. If they don't do okay, some negative encounters. They do a fight thing. And then, like I said, I spent a lot of time like figuring out how to balance like, you guys are in a giant fuck you tank. Also, once again, want to shame FFG a little bit. I'll do it. So I don't know what they were smoking when they designed this thing. Like, okay, so it's an armored fighting vehicle. So still 4, like 50-ish trauma and strain threshold. That's okay. Perfectly okay. 5 armor, big sense. It's a big tanky boy. Missile, like concussion missiles anyway. Anti-vehicle missiles are like breach 4, breach 6, breach 8 kind of bullshit. You're basically completely immune to anything that's man portable, which that's another really weird like game design thing. Like that's not how fucking rockets work in Star Wars. But whatever. That's how damage scaling ended up. But like my main one here, this motherfucker. You've got a dorsal mounted rotary laser cannon, which for some ungodly reason is damage 7, auto fire with a breach and a vicious rating. What the fuck? Why?
It shoots a lot of DACA.
This thing's already got a dorsal, like a top-mounted heavy laser cannon, which is only 6.3. Why did you make a rotary, like rapid-fire laser gun even more damage and also those extra qualities? Where did those come from? Is that how that's supposed to work? Whatever. Like I said, I did some design around it. I kept it in mind. I did like some smaller encounters where like there will be multiple targets, so like if you just fucking auto fire, like if Boots gets on the rotary gun and just like, oh yes, I've done 4 extra bonus damage and also it's auto fire, so I'm gonna hit 4 times, and I'm like, okay, that guy's deleted. 2 more guys jump out to take his place, man. Small little annoying enemies kind of thing. Like honestly, I think the way the damage design for this thing works, like with your giant fuck off weapons, is I don't want to say it's not like a glass cannon because you're still very tough, 5 armor, 55 hull threshold, but there's a decent amount of like back and forth. Like you can do high damage output and kind of shake up enemies, but with armor 5, the way most like damage profiles work, you're not so heavily armored that if guys hit you, they don't do a little bit of damage, So like there'll be some fun back and forth. Like probably, I don't remember if I said this on mic. I think I did earlier. It's been about 3 hours. Where like I don't expect you guys to ever hit hull trauma 0 unless shit gets really fucked. Dice are weird. But I expect lots of little scratch damage and probably some critical hits, so you guys might, rattle your bones around a little, bonk your noggins, make sure to, seatbelts everyone, or have to, like, be like... I came up with a sub-theme, especially because when you were picking out your options, you were really like, no, Arma is high-speed, low-drag right now. She's going to pick the shortest, most direct route, damn the torpedoes, and I'm like, all right, so speed has become a literal theme of this adventure now. I will literally have, like... conditions or events pop up where like, well, you should probably stop for a little bit kind of thing, like to actually, because I might want to see how, depending on the situation, Arama feels about delays. Is she gonna be pissed off by delays, or is she just gonna be like, well, we've blown up half our wheels and popped an axle, and also we're a little bit on fire, so we should probably stop for 5 minutes. It's fine. Like I want to see kind of how this interplays with the situation, because literally when you guys are picking your travel itinerary, which was part of the adventure, basically that was the point I got as far in my writing. Like you had a direct design ethos, and you're like, no, this is in character. Why I would do this? I understand some of you are like, it was a little weird. I'm not gonna like shit talk Axe too hard, but like when you were picking options Axe, you were very like out of character. Like, oh, well, I just think this would be a cool set piece. And you, Lucky, were like, no, in character. Like, obviously, yeah, these are all cool set pieces, but, like, in character, no. Arma wants the most direct route. And, like, in character, nobody could really be like, no. Like, you guys did kind of change around. You were like, actually, yeah, well, we can take this one weird canyon that's probably full of bandits, Whoever has this backstory thing with, like, pirates and stuff, she might want to, like, punch some bandits and turn that into a subplot. That is also, by the way, totally going to be an optional sub. Like, I literally figured out where these guys are from, so if you guys want to spend, like, an extra day on planet and punch some extra pirates, it'll be a thing. Or you guys may decide that you don't care that much. You might, like, grab them and shake them around and just be like, nah, it's not worth it. Fuck it, we're going home. I'm tired of this planet. It's so dry and sandy. It sucks here.
I can't believe I missed the swamp.
You never thought you'd miss 100% humidity until you experienced 0% humidity.
It's either all or nothing. What is it? Why?
I feel like the water is like literally leaving my body. That's sweat. That's called sweat.
I hate it.
Do we do that on Sohaliv? I can't tell. Everything's so humid. It's hard to know. But yeah, so like there'll be some like backstory interaction stuff back and forth. I've got some like fun little homages and subplot stuff that like won't necessarily be very deep, but might be just some amusing anecdotes. And you know, and kind of like work some back and forth options. And like I said, hopefully we've come up with some interesting combat encounters. We still haven't done like, I don't think you guys have actually had any straight-up fights, like, vehicle on vehicle in Sierra Mobile. Like, you've used it in mass combats a lot.
I'm trying to think. I know we've done fights on vehicles, but I don't think we have not done vehicle-to-vehicle combat yet. I think
not ground vehicle to ground vehicle anyway.
Like, I kind of, like I said, like, for, like, the reasons that we talked about, like, when we did the big base defense, I kind of avoid vehicle combat because it's one of those things, like, there's so many things to do on a vehicle, and you only have so many slots, to do it, so it gets a little weird. And then when you involve NPCs, you know, filling things, it gets even fucking weirder. So I was just like, Yeah.
And I brought this up earlier. I'm reasonably certain that the way the design works is if you guys are like, if it just, whether it's like role-playing or just like the way the mechanics might work out, like, oh no, all your guns broke. Crashed into too many things, you broke all your guns. You guys can probably just, like, climb out on top and, like, turn it into, a moving set piece kind of a thing, you know?
I mean, I'm ready to Nathan Drake and jump from vehicle to vehicle and punch drivers.
And you guys may find that more responsive than actually, like, you know, like I said, just posting Boots and Wevu who have big gunnery scores up in the turrets shooting guys. And who knows, you know, no spoilers, some of those might not be very action efficient. If you have lots of little enemies, so that might not be good for you to have just, like, two guys wasting their time. If you can all just get out and shoot, you know, like guys on like bikes or riding an open top skiffs or whatever, you know. But there'll be also be some interesting things. Also, you know, Lucky gave me a great present. You were like, so this Giant's graveyard thing seems like the fastest route, and I was like, oh, no. Well, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun with that.
I know what I was doing.
We are. Oh, will we have fun? Oh.
I know exactly what I was doing.
Yeah. Oh. That was once again an interesting mechanical hurdle to figure that out. But yeah. And honestly, your guys' on-foot damage output is pretty crazy. Like I can't even if I threw like an enemy with like 100 wounds but like 0 soak, you guys would probably kill that guy in like 2 full rounds.
Probably, yeah.
Like, even if he had no other defensive abilities, if he was just, like, a block of 100 wounds, you could absolutely do that much damage. Like,
no, if everyone brought out their fucking, like, their abilities, we could probably do it in 1 turn, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. If you were, like, spending Destiny points and going to the max, yes. Because, like, you know, Wevu can get, like, force dice on lightsaber attacks and increase her linked rating by her force rating, so she can get, like, 5 or 6 linked on her lightsaber, you know, and just keep slapping. Axe gets bonus damage versus droids, but he has several high output weapons. You know, he could be taking like sniper shot, primo shots. You can do your special once per session, add force points, and turn them all into big punch. You know, Boots has a wide variety of heavy weapons. He usually busts out like auto fire attacks or blast attacks, and he has his deadly accuracy for just big damage cap. Like, yeah,
big damn.
You guys would get in there. So, like, I'm not actually that afraid of like interesting circumstances, and like you got to keep it live. Like, you know, you gotta ask questions like, hey, why don't we just shoot our giant guns at this creature? Okay, so you know we can figure that out. There are correlations to the damage. You know, it works out. I think I made it work. It'll function okay. So, you know, you get your trade-off and stuff. And honestly, since you can have people do scratch damage to vehicles with certain weapons, it's not that weird for, like, giant creatures to do scratch damage to vehicles. Like, you know, there are, I think, a couple of... Because there are some giant fucking monsters in Star Wars already. I think there are a couple of those guys who have, like, you know, Breach 1 or Breach 2 or even higher, like, you know, attacks. So if you're, like... Well, if you're doing, like, between 10 to 20 damage and you have a few points of breach, that's scratch damage on a vehicle, which means you can do crits and do other weird, interesting things. And also be, like, utterly horrifying to player characters. And if you do it the other way, if you do something like low damage, like say something like only like 10 damage, but like breach 4 or 5, like that's very much scratch damage on vehicles, but is serious damage to players, but not necessarily crippling to them. And also, I do get to have some fun with certain attacks because some of you are tank monsters who have like Cortosis Soak now. So like,
what is my soak up to? 9?
Yeah, you're Soak 8 or 9 with Cortosis now.
Yep.
So like, yeah, that means you're immune to Pierce and Breach. And so I can actually design attacks just to be like, oh, if this is anybody but Arama, they're fucking dead. But if it's Arama, it's like, that's like an interesting scratch damage effect kind of.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. That, there was something I actually wanted to ask you about. In our game, you're usually fine with us, like, respecing if we're like fucking like, okay, this ain't working or this ain't what I had in mind or whatever. But I had a question. Like, would you mind me like respecing out of one tree completely to switch it to another tree? For example, if I this is the idea I have at some point. I don't know if it's actually going to come to a head, but if I was basically take all the points I put into Jedi Knight and then switch them all over to Jedi Master, or do you think that's a little too weird for the game?
That might be a little weird, and also that would probably, I don't know how that would break some things with some of your ranked talents. You might not actually enjoy that process. I mean,
I know that's
I'm not necessarily against it. I think the intent is for you to just straight up buy that new tree and kind of advance that way.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, you're always working with a limited amount of experience, and like I said, games aren't infinite. Because this was the thing I was thinking about, like the only real way, like if I wanted to do like the ye old true blue Jedi experience, you go to Padawan tonight to like Master, but then you are just a kind of stock standard Jedi. You throw your lightsaber around and stuff. So you really don't get any of that cool flair and stuff that, one could do in a tabletop thing. But, like, in order to become a Jedi Master, because you have to have Force Rating 3 to do it, that means you generally have to take, like, you have to either, like, you either have to do the Padawan Knight thing, or you have to, like, upgrade to 2, and then pick Knight and go from there. So I'm like, that's actually a little bit of thing. I'm not actually like committed to the idea, but I wanted to run by you, see if you were okay with it, to see if it's something that I can maybe look into later, in case Arama at some point be like, no, I am a fucking master. I am a master or something. I don't know. Arama has things to get through.
I mean, technically, I believe the rule for becoming a master is you have to train an apprentice, but that's not always 100% a rule. There was that whole thing, Anakin got put on the council, but was not granted the title of master. Mm-hmm. So there's some metaphorical back and forth. I mean, I wouldn't mind if you lost your ability to always get that fucking destiny point back when you fail a skill check. Like, it is interesting. Like, I'm comparing the two. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in Master. You would probably like the talent, the Force is my ally, a lot. Spend 2 strain perform force power actions as a maneuver. Mm-hmm. So you can punch and battle med. And there's some interesting stuff in there. There's more force rating and stuff, dedication. So we can talk about it. If it's more of like a fluff thing, obviously that's different. But like I'm just like I do not think that is the, I know obviously it's the most EXP efficient path. I don't know if it's the most optimal path in terms of like actually you doing things, because let's see, there's improved reflect and parry in Jedi Knight.
Yeah,
there's emotions in Jedi Knight. I know there's straight up some stuff you don't use in Jedi Knight, but there's a couple of core talents that I think you do actually like a lot. That's where you get balance, which I don't think Jedi Master goes back to you. Lets you roll those force pips at the end of the encounter. Mm-hmm. Now you don't really. I don't even know if you have. I think you have Circle of Shelter.
I do.
We don't really use that a lot, though, unfortunately. Though, then again, for a long, long time, you weren't actually drawing your
lightsaber. No,
your lightsaber for a while. That was a whole process of getting there. We'll see how the next couple of sessions play out, and then like when you think you want to make that transition, we can kind of work that out.
Okay.
We can see what's best, whether it's just like slapping those AC those those EXPs or not.
All right, but it's something I've been thinking about. I want to bring up.
Yeah, it's a good thought. It's one of those things where like that is always an issue with obviously EXP and all that sort of character growth stuff is like figuring out like where. I mean, it goes back to like that discussion we had about exposition basically earlier, like where the disconnect between okay, this is the game we are playing with people. You know, what can I do to just make it easy for people and interact with the mechanics but does this fit the narrative and my character arc kind of a thing, you know? And sometimes it works better than obviously others. Like, you know, I think you actually like started taking Jedi General and pips when you were like, no, I'm a general. I'm going to lead people now. And like we kind of changed our tone a little bit from like little adventures and like mob stuff to like, no. I'm like fucking picking missions, leading missions. We're doing stuff now. I'm a general. Whereas I think your growth as a martial artist was much more just like, what if I punched people? Oh my god, these countries let me punch people really good. I'll do it. That'll be weird. I've never been a punch Jedi before. Lo and behold, the punch Jedi was born.
Ah! And it was good.
And there was much punch. Fucking Steel Hand is a Spectre. Oh boy. I love how fucking zany it is. I talk shit a little bit about fantasy fight games like editing a lot because I do kind of feel like they're like proofing and copy editing stuff is kind of like they definitely were not good at that per se when they had the thing. And Edge hasn't put out a lot of books yet, so I don't know how that'll shake out. We'll see when that Twilight Imperium supposed to be releasing that book sometime. Yay, more stuff I can mine for more Genesis homebrews because I'm probably not gonna run straight up regular ass space opera, but I do have that Mass Effect hack, you know, still rolling around in my brain.
Sorry, I was just listening to this skit about them talking about his fucking wolf shoulder pad. And it's all like, why did you get it? And they're like, I love little nothing conversations like this. I really do.
Yeah. I like a little bit of stuff. A little bit of self-awareness in but like that is something that I feel like, especially with like Spectres, and especially as they got later and later in the line, they were just like, nah, fuck it. We can do whatever. We want to do a brawl focused spec for you know Force and Destiny. What do you do? Steel Hand Adapt. Okay, that goes in Warrior. All right. What can you do? You can fucking punch with mind bullets. You know, get ranged punches. You know, add like pierce and sunder and shit. You know, so you can basically, you know, giving you the tools you need so that you can be a punch Jedi, but not be outcompeted by your fucking nerd Jedi friend who built a basic bitch lightsaber and still does like 6 true damage all the time. You know. So it's they did some fun.
But
all right, that was a good conversation. I'll be interested to see like how far you go and what funny stuff in the upcoming bit. Like I said, I'm basically done writing. I know what the rough outline is. I need to actually like sketch down the last couple of bits. I will probably debate with myself of like, should there be some extra challenges or nonsense here? Nah, probably not. Like, I think I've really gotten a grasp on, like, how to... it only took 80 sessions with this crew, but I think I finally got... Actually, that's not true. Like, 3 or 4 of those sessions were all World Forge stuff, and that was concise. That was just... I think it was just I made some of my vignettes too spicy. Like, they were cool concepts. It's just that, like the one where, like, oh, the town has plague. So you stopped and helped, and then you guys were kind of on a roll and like, I will stick around for a couple days. Well, because there's no mechanical basis for that, Aresh. She asked, why not make a punch light? I've done all my research. That's just not a thing. Star Wars has never done that. There's no, like, lightsaber knuckles. There are, like, a couple of, like, wrist blade designs, but they're usually, like, Wolverine claw style. And there's not really a good mechanical, like, outline for it. So, and technically, because of the way the skills are split, you wouldn't punch with it anyway. You'd use the lightsaber skill. So, I think there are some, like, high damage. Like, I think there's at least one brawl weapon that has, like, each one high pierce naturally. The Crush Guns have, like, the Sunder and Vicious and stuff. So, it's just mechanically it didn't work. We had many conversations off mic about lightsaber designs for Ahriman, what would work. And could you build, like, lightsaber guitars? And I'm like, I don't know if there's a good template for that. There doesn't really seem to be any evidence of them being used that way, other than some like really weird, late 90s, early 2000s edge shit.
And I actually did a quick mock-up of what actually Aruma's lightsaber looks like. Since it's a defensive design, it's actually it still has a lightsaber blade, but it basically has a giant like thick handguard on it. So it's a defensive lightsaber. I use it to block things, and maybe I'll like crack someone upside the chin with it or something.
We talked a lot about when you were making it about like Tiger Hook sword influences,
Yeah.
like lots of coverage, big hilt, big handguard, big pommel kind of a thing. Lots of surfaces for binding, hooking, trapping, booping.
Yeah, no.
you need to use it. Like, you literally installed the feature that gives you like extra, like faster cutting time versus inanimate objects. So like, if you needed to use it as the door opener, you have the function for that. Very amusing.
It's very, very nice.
But yeah, so like I'm interested to see how people handle stuff. I got some ideas for the things, and I like I said, I think I've gotten better about just like okay, there'll be some kind of encounter here, a chase or a fight or something. All right, that's all I need to do. Don't add any more flair. Just make sure to include if there's any like particular like weird setback dice stuff or extra difficulty, and just move the fuck on. Like, obviously, if we're gonna be in an area for an engaged period, the like special advantage tables are kind of cool sometimes. I've done that before, and possibly will do again for certain scenarios. But like, for the most part, I've just realized that like, no, you guys will take care of the rest. Like, even if you guys are efficient and combat only takes like 1 or 2 rounds, that still usually stops us down for like 30 to 60 minutes.
I love this gun design. What the fuck? How dare you be so cool? I love Shion. She's a healer, but she shoot gun.
Yeah, that's just the meme. I'm a healer, but
I'm gonna equip that shit. Yeah.
It is a very interesting and nice design. I do like that stuff. But yeah, no. So like, as I was saying, like I think I've realized that like, no. If I just put the combat in and you guys do it, even if you fucking one shot it, which I'm designing these things to hopefully be more like a little bit more dynamic and nail biting them. That still, with the way our players are and with how much dice we're rolling at this point, that still takes us like 30 minutes. So I can kind of like plan around that and be like, no, you can resolve this shit in like 1 or 2 sessions. And then, of course, you always got to leave yourself some room because you never know what the dice.
Excuse me.
You guys could like completely bollocks up your rolls, and DiceBot could just be like, you have rolled all blanks, and you could end up lost in the desert for like an extra 2 days. And I would be like, I don't know what to tell you. Your dice are borked. You can't do shit. I do have several notes about like I've once again written in my notes like, and remember to warn them to not all roll skill checks willy-nilly and to focus, because if they do that and they roll bad stuff, you're going to make bad stuff happen. Remind them. They'll do it anyway, but let them know again.
Just let them know that this is their fault.
Basically, yeah. I'm I feel like I do this every time you guys are like, oh, you want to do perception? Well, I'll do that. I'm like, okay, well, if you fuck it up, and it has happened before. Sometimes, obviously, you guys end up all doing individual actions like, oh, no, we're running from a collapsing roof. We all need to roll athletics. But, like, other times it's like, this is completely optional. You guys can kind of, like, split your workforce. It's like, oh, you want us to look around? We'll all roll. And sometimes you all succeed, and I'm like, okay, well, you all get the same information. Good job, guys. And then other times, Boots will roll, like, 3 threat, or, Camo will somehow roll, like, an extra 1 threat and be like, what the fuck happened here? And I'll just be like, well, you stub your toe. Nobody else stubs their toe, just you.
Good job, buddy.
So we'll see how that all shakes out. I was able to kind of like, especially after talking with you guys about some of this stuff. We had some downtime in the session because Lucky got a phone call in the middle of it.
Yeah, I did.
So I had some casual banter about some possible inspiration for encounter design. So I was able to kind of play around with the desert setting and some fun creature stuff. So we should get some familiar yet unique encounters, I think.
Yay.
And we'll have fun, and that'll be tomorrow. We'll do that, and like I said, we will post the first bit, the last session. I will post that live for everybody tomorrow because it's all uploaded. Oh, hey, OSP's doing an After Dark talk about detectives.
Neat.
Go check that out later. That was a trope talk that came out. It's very interesting. It's kind of funny, actually. I kind of like the structure to it. Like I feel like halfway through her script, and then also halfway through the final video, like Red realizes like, oh, I've basically spent like half this video talking about mysteries, but like it's so impossible to separate detectives from the mystery structure. And I'm like, you right?
No, yeah, I was about to say, no, you're right.
Yeah, that's how it works. You can't discuss how different detective characters are different without discussing how mysteries can be different.
Mm-hmm.
I can also tell that while scripting this video, Red has been watching a lot of Columbo. Columbo is referenced a lot. Sadly, no love for my boy Nero Wolf. That said, I can understand, like, having watched the video, I'm like, I understand perfectly how under your own categorization system to talk about this, because Nero Wolf is the ultimate armchair detective. He doesn't do anything himself. He sends out his competent but not quite as genius as him assistant who does all our first-person do all the work. So, you know, Wolf is the genius. He sometimes takes the shortcuts, or he solves the things maybe a little ahead of time of the people, or he figures out what the plan is to get the villain to reveal themselves, and then you do the big scene. The big reveal is key to detectives, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the big reveal, the flip around.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, I think we managed to stretch this out for like an extra 30 minutes. That's pretty good. I definitely need to go chug some water.
Yeah, no, I think we should wrap up now.
Yeah. All right, let's do the wrap up.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed this conversation about stuff.
A lot of stuff.
We had a lot of fun. Many, many new games, some of which you'll see us stream. But, yeah, that means it's time to do the old... Scratch my face there. The old wind-downy-do.
Mm-hmm.
Goes a little something like this. First of all, if you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to give us a like if you liked it. As is usual, I like to guilt everybody. We've got 13 concurrent viewers apparently right now and only 9 likes. Some of you are slacking. Though some of y'all are jumping to the head of the class. I noticed that we had like 2 or 3 likes when we started before we even actually got live. Good job, you. Good job. Golf clap. Gold star, everybody. Beyond that, you can also leave comments in the section down below. You can also hit us up on our Discord. The link is, as always, in the video description and on our channel page. And like I said, if we do get together for some like watch party stuff, it will be through Discord. So whatever form that takes, we'll get on there. And you can also hang out with other people, talk about gacha games, see movie trailers, all kinds of stuff. Check it out. It's cool. And, of course, in addition to all that other fun stuff, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you can always get our latest content, get What's Up every week. No need to worry about algorithms. Check out our flagship podcast, Let's Talk FGO. New episode out today already. Check it out. It's about summer. Cool. I make a booty pun in there. It's great. Also, if you want to listen to those APs we just finished talking about, sub to us.
Mm-hmm.
We have a small but I think dedicated listener base to APs. So check it out. Sub to us. Even if you're already subscribed, make sure to ring that bell for notifications so you always know post a new video, or when we stream, such as when we stream What's Up, or when we will be streaming more Bloodstained Symphony of the Night.
Ritual of the
Night. Ritual of the Night. Ritual. Started with an R. I knew it. Symphony is the other one, but it's like it's an homage. It's very funny. So on the nose. But we'll be streaming more of Bloodstained on Monday. So make sure to hit that bell for notifications so you know when we'll be getting those streams started, and also when we go ahead and post videos. It's a great time. Have fun. Of course, even if you are already subscribed and everything, you can also support us even more by joining our channel memberships. Get exclusive to membership badges and emotes. You can see some of them right there in the live chat. And it helps us out, and it's a really great time, and it will help pay for more of these fucking video games that are going to keep coming out. Damn. And if you want to, get your ultimate support on, if you perhaps want to listen to this episode of What's Up without having to worry about Tales of Arise spoilers, you can support us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month or about $10 a year. You can get our podcast episodes, Let's Talk FGO and What's Up, and occasionally some other releases if I do certain audio stuff. You can get those downloadable as a patron for free, early access to as well. Carlos, thank you for the super chat.
Membership rise up.
You can get access to our audio downloads for like that low price. At higher levels, you can get videos early. You can get access to topic polls. And you can get access to watching some of our other shows live, getting on our shoutouts, other fun stuff. Also really helps us out and supports us. We thank you for your generous patronage, all our patrons of the show. And that's basically it. This has been What's Up for the week of that one time where that thing happened.
And we out.
We end it with a quest complete. It's over now. Our quest's done, Lucky. Let's go home.